3 years and 1,000 hours later, we've reached the end of Shadowbringers 5.0. Normally, my seasons and my supercuts go for an entire expansion, but this time it's different. Shadowbringers has forced us to the absolute brink since the very beginning. Every inch, every moment, every victory was a struggle, culminating in the battle against Hades. I hope you enjoy, and I hope to see you again after this for the final season of Solo Only. Welcome to the Solo Final Fantasy XIV Challenge. This is Solo Only, and from the very beginning, we have clawed our way past some of the most difficult fights this game can offer, all while never using the market board, parties, or NPC support, and using level sync or silence echo whenever it's possible. Again and again, I've been told this was impossible, but no matter how hard it got, we've always prevailed. And now, standing on the other side of the impossible trial, Susano, it's time to move forward towards our final goal, Endwalker. Maybe something stops us before then, brings this whole thing crashing down, but until we see that with our own hands, we continue down this long, winding road to whatever impossible wall comes next. The road we have walked has begun to fade away. Every expansion so far, things have gotten harder and harder, but this is unlike anything before. Laid out before us is a grotesque, horrifying arrangement of dungeons and bosses, each with a knife to our throat, ready to cut us down at the slightest misstep. That confidence I once held, believing we could do anything, is slipping. Shadowbringers has begun. Where Stormblood had one singular trial that could end the entire challenge, Shadowbringers has 3. Yet, we push on, towards a brand new horizon, and a whole new world. All that stress tucked away safely into the back of my mind, like all my other repressed emotions, I've been holding on to something for a long time, saving it for this exact moment.
We are 34 days and 11 hours with Solo right now. 827 hours. We are now in Shadowbringers. Congratulations, NPCs and everyone else. You are now allowed to have your shadows back. Congratulations. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I have had that turned off for 2 expansions.
It's been a little bit, and I apologize for the delay to get this video out. I've been, busy with some things. But we've finally reached Season 4, so it's time to rush through the MSQ just like always. 3 areas are made available to us. The eastern half of Amaurot, all of Lakeland, and the southern half of Calusia.
This B-roll shot and this part of the video goes out specifically to you, Celeste Shepard's dad.
With only 1 full area and 2 half areas, our resources were extremely limited. Most all crafting options were locked away. There were no upgrades available, aside from 1 special mechanic from Shadowbringers. Completing a fate would now reward you with bicolor gemstones, a currency used at specific shops in each zone. And from here, we could trade in gemstones to purchase some of the most important materials for gearing. Only problem is we need to be able to reach the merchant, and for Calusia and Amaurot, they wouldn't be available until we could reach the second half of the zone anyway. In essence, these merchants were useless. My NPC vendor rule is specifically, I cannot buy something from a merchant unless I can't craft or obtain it myself. By the time I can access these merchants, I can already obtain the materials they sell. So this was a dead end. The first of Shadowbringers' big 3 trials was waiting for us on the horizon, Titania. Even from here, at the very beginning, we need to start planning upgrades, thinking of anything that could get us past the King of the Fae. But we have nothing. And so, we're stuck with naught but the gear that got us through Stormblood to face off against the first dungeon, Holminster Switch. Unlike nearly every dungeon before this, there's not a single enemy in here that isn't a threat. Just 1 set of 3 dogs rips through our armor like nothing. And for a chance at surviving just 2 bears, I need to use all of my mitigations. Every pull was slow and meticulous. 14 minutes lost to add, we reached the first boss.
Hello, God.
Forgiven Dissonance. The Path of Light is a raid-wide, dealing 4,600 damage.
Brazen Bull summons orbs at the side of the arena as Gibbet Cage hits anyone close to the boss. Shortly after, the orbs explode in a plus, leaving a small corner of the arena safe that Dissonance dashes towards with Thumbscrew. Then, each orb casts a line AoE, Light Show, while Dissonance sends out a massive cone AoE, Wooden Horse. Afterwards is another Path of Light, Hillary, a tank buster dealing 9,000 damage, and the boss summons their orbs with Brazen Bull once more. This time with a new pattern and 2 safe spots. If you pick the wrong one, Thumbscrew takes up the entire space, forcing you to dodge out at the last second once the initial hit goes off. From here, the fight repeats, dropping low to heavy hitting auto attacks, healing back up during the Brazen Bull phase, and slowly but surely chipping away at the boss's health. After 10 minutes, Forgiven Dissonance falls, and we move on. Beating up the gremlins that for some reason were important enough to be in the Shadowbringers trailer, we reach the second boss, Tesleen the Forgiven. The Tickler is a tank buster, dealing 9,000 damage. Scold's Bridle is a raid-wide, dealing 3,000. And then, Fevered Flagellation places markers above every party member's head, showing the order in which they'll be hit by the attack. Normally, in fights that have a multi-hit mechanic like this, I end up tanking every hit, but for some reason, Tesleen is merciful and only hits us once. Exercise, a party stack, follows, dealing 11,000 damage and leaving ice on the ground. Standing in this ice will deal damage over time. One more Fevered Flagellation, a quick dance from the boss. What the heck are you doing? Did that have any meaning, or was it just... Okay, doesn't look like it. 2 more Scold's Bridles, and the cycle repeats from the Tickler. Unlike Dissonance, with little to no threatening attacks, Tesleen's party stack made this a constant dance of managing my mitigations and heals. The only saving grace was Fevered Flagellation having such a long cast time. Another 10-minute fight down, we head on towards the final battle. Rest in peace, dear Teslee. The next area is a constant onslaught of enemies with no time to rest in between, and then the final boss of Holminster Switch and the first of the Light Wardens, Filia. So Filia, hear me out. Alright, chat, you're going into emote only mode for a bit. Scavenger's Daughter is a raid-wide, dealing 4,300 damage. Head Crusher is a tank buster for 10,000, and in just the first few moments, we're down to half health. Pendulum follows up with a proximity AoE centered on me and at the center of the arena. 7,000 more health gone. And then, the fight ends. Fetters is not good. What? Please don't be instant. Please don't be instant. Please don't. It's an AoE. It's not going to be instant. It's not targeted. Right? Volnup, 4K, 5K, 5K. Hey, not bad. Or it should have, but we survive by the skin of our teeth with 3 vulnerability up debuffs for the next minute. Left and right knot cleave their respective sides of the arena, auto attacks have jumped from 2,500 damage to 3,500 damage, and with a 20% damage reduction, Head Crusher still manages to hit for 11,000. Tephophobia is a targeted AoE, dealing 3,500 damage, then into the light. And now a party stack. Alright. Thanks, Filia. You want to calm down just a tiny bit, maybe? Just like the littlest bit? We could take a little bit of a breather? Just as friends, you know? Just as buddies. Come on! Deaf to my pleas, the first hit of Pendulum lands right before we lose our Vuln stacks and deals 11,000 damage. But then, finally, we got our moment. Fierce Beating has Filia sending out shockwaves of damage in front of itself and swiping its tail backwards. With each tail swipe, Filia turns and repeats until it's done a full circle. While doing this, we weren't taking any damage. So long as I never stood inside, in front of, or behind the boss, we had time to recover and go on the attack. Returning to battle after its temper tantrum, Filia hits us with another Into the Light party stack, left and right knot, and chain down, fettering us once again. The attack that gives us those debuffs from earlier was the second part of Chain Down, Aether Sup, and due to how long the cast time was, we couldn't even use mitigations. Our longest one, Rampart, fell off before the attacks even started, and without Rampart to help in the next phase, we're pushed to the brink, spending everything just to survive the party stack, and falling to Filia's autos shortly after. Yeah, no way. Okay. Oh, that sucks. How long was that? 6 minutes? I could do it. Just gotta go quick. We began this boss fight with 27.5 minutes left on the dungeon timer before we get kicked out. And with that death, we got to see the real scale of things. I had gotten the boss to 76% health. It took just about 5 minutes to get through 25% of the fight. Realistically, this would be a 20-minute boss fight. And with just 22 minutes left, we had to be quick, but there was still a chance. This time, I tried using my shield, Shake It Off, to prevent one of the Vuln stacks. Unlike Rampart, which only lasted 20 seconds, my shield lasted 30, but I didn't manage to use it in time, so I throw it on as soon as the fetters end. Through the rest of the cycle, something felt off. I couldn't understand why, but for some reason, I was much worse off than before. My last attempt had gotten through this on the first try without much issue, but I was forced to use Holmgang and dropped to 1 HP. Holmgang prevents me from dying for 8 seconds, but it wouldn't be back for the next set of attacks. This wasn't sustainable. At the next chain down, I tried to shield once again, this time actually getting it, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough to block an attack, just slightly reduced the damage. And just like before, we're on the back foot during the next phase of attacks. With no Holmgang to save us this time, we die once again. Back to the fetters once more, this time we fully block an attack, making it deal 0 damage, but the Vuln stack goes through all the same. And just like last time, we die to Pendulum afterwards. No matter what I did, all of a sudden, I couldn't survive that 12,000 damage right at the end, just seconds before reaching Fierce Beatings. For now, we rest and try to come up with a plan. Another run at this point would take an hour minimum just to get back there, and I was pretty exhausted from the long day. And then I forgot to clear up some space, so the video for this one died. Enjoy the lower quality experience of the stream vlog. The next day of stream is a new week, which means a new Wondrous Sales to complete. One line? Hold on. Oh my god. Wait a second. Oh my god. Okay. That's the easiest Wondrous Sales of my life. That is halfway to another level 100 chess piece. I will take that. 7 million XP, 6.6 million. That's pretty good if I do say so myself. They actually made the Magic the Gathering solo card. I can't believe it. I'm just saying. Square Enix, put me in. Put this in the MTG set. I will pay thousands of dollars. I'm already gonna pay thousands of dollars for that Magic the Gathering set to get Xenos, okay? Put it in, and then I'll get this one. Luck seemingly on our side, we head in for another attempt. 22 minutes left on the instance as the fight with Filia begins anew. We fall once more, but not without making good progress. It's understandably a bit hard to read, but Filia was at 25%, 3/4 of the way through this fight, and I knew now why I kept dying. This fight was a perfect cycle. If I wanted to kill Filia, I had to use every mitigation at specific important moments. Wasting my shield on Chain Down guaranteed my deaths the other day, and one slip up this time cost me the entire instance. With only 11 minutes left, there wasn't enough time to try again. But we also didn't need anything more to complete this. It could be done so long as I was perfect. And so, we enter Holminster Switch one more time. Filia defeated. Swift first time completion, 82 minutes and 55 seconds. The first Light Warden is down. The first wall of the expansion is complete, and once more we push on towards Titania. hoping that nothing will stop us along the way. The first dungeon of Shadowbringers is down and has surpassed all expectations. Even here, we can still clear content on level 6. Maybe this expansion wouldn't be so bad after all. Before continuing onward, there's one more goal I've had in mind for a long time. Solo's final title, an upgrade to the Lonely Explorer, Lone Hero, which we can only get for completing floors 1 to 100 in Heaven on High in a single run. We spent plenty of time in there for leveling, so the most basic requirement of maxed out Aetherpool gear is already met. In fact, 2 of the requirements are met already. You need to complete a run starting from floor 1. A long time ago, I had a Gunbreaker run with just that, and we got lucky enough to get an Odin Magicite. Magicite, if you don't know, is an item that allows you to summon a primal, killing every enemy on the floor. But the Odin Magicites are special. Not only will they kill every enemy on the floor, they can also instantly kill bosses. This was an incredibly rare and powerful item that most won't even see on a run, so I've been saving this exact save file for my title attempts. It's been sitting here for months, until I was finally ready to get my clear. But also, I feel very bad about doing things like drone and stuff. There goes my internet. Is my internet fully out? No, that was just a blip. Great. I'll take a little blip. That's fine. Wow. That's infuriating. Okay. I can't believe that's how I end the run. I cannot believe that's how the run ends. I've been sitting on that run for basically half a year. And I didn't even make it 10 floors because the 14 servers went out. Chat, have you ever just stress eaten an entire buttered baguette before? Because I think that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, okay. After waiting things out a bit on my main, the servers recovered, and we can start again from the beginning. Farewell, Odin Run. At the very least, it lets us walk through all of this from square one. Honestly though, outside of some greedy behavior... Aww, 1 second left? Come on. The first 30 floors are quick and easy. Most of the enemies don't hurt much, and the bosses are simple until floor 30. Hiriko summons clouds around the arena and knocks you into the air with Shiko. Standing under a cloud when you're flung upwards will destroy it, creating a safe space from their burst of lightning. Then the rest is just dodging. Fun fact, you can flex on the boss if you just do this. Okay, well, that sucks. Alright, I've had enough Heaven on High for today. At floor 31, things start to pick up a bit and get more dangerous. There are 2 enemies on this floor set that use a self-destruct after getting to low health, and if they're allowed to cast it, will be dropped to the brink of death. The boss, Bhima, is easy though, just knockbacks. Floors 41 to 50 bring with it a giant laser beam and worms. At some point, if you don't kill them fast enough, the worms will just decide it's time for you to die. You can technically survive it if you're a tank and are prepared for it, but most classes will die instantly. Gozu is the same as the final boss from the drowned city of Scala, showing with arm placement what attacks it's going to do, plus a gaze mechanic that confuses you if you're hit by it, making you attack a party member or stand in place if there are none. Followed by a proximity AoE on the boss, so instant death if you're ever stuck in place there. Heaven on High really likes to kill you in one hit if you mess up a mechanic, so you're gonna have to get used to me saying that. 51 to 60 has nothing particularly dangerous, and maybe it's just me, but I take it as a nice break in the middle of the run. Suikazure is just as easy as her floor set with a lot of AoEs to dodge. Alright, very nice. Okay, I now have a run that is back where we lost it last time. 61 to 70 is the start of some new difficulty. We have to start picking and choosing our battles, with anything more than 2 enemies at once being a near-death sentence, especially with the high-hitting dots and poisons. And the floor 70 boss is just like Cerberus in the World of Darkness. Puddles are dropped, allowing me to become small and dodge his instant kill attack, Hound Out of Hell. Farewell, big doggy. And that is the floor set I failed on before completed. Thank you very much for not DDoSing me this time, video game. Alright, this is the scary one now. Mobs here start to really hurt. Kite well, keep sustain potions up all the time, and be very wary of patrols. You will insta-die before having any time to do anything if you accidentally pull a second mob, for the most part, speaking from experience. Floor 71, we've entered the final gauntlet. Every enemy is a threat. aside from the Jujishi. Jujishi are the first normal enemies to be rated as a max danger level from Meigi's Guide, with their own miniature enrage, Winds of Winter. It is a massive AoE as big as an entire room, and getting hit by it is a guaranteed death. But just in case you don't die to it, it buffs the Jujishi afterwards. And this floor set is the last time we can get a Pomander of Raising. What I've got is the end of it. They don't appear on floor 81 or above, and so we'll have to reach the end on whatever we have left. Starting the floor 80 boss, we end up with 2 Raisings for the final sets. Ice orbs spawn around the arena, bursting when they're hit with a flying icicle or from Lunar Cry, and deep freezing anything near them. If you're frozen, the boss will instantly kill you. It's another easy dodging boss. That is, of course, if you're paying enough attention. What happened? No way, dude. I have raising. Thank the 12. Alright, what happened? Orb? Where was the orb? Looking closer, you can just barely see the ice orb the boss stood on top of peeking out every once in a while as it moves. If it hadn't been for that raising Pomander, we'd have lost it all right there. No more mistakes, we're on to floor 81. After that death, I was really not feeling good about it, but there we go. Alrighty. I'm gonna exit for a little bit. We're holding all of our hope for, you know? There are many dozens of rewards that I could get from this Platinum Haloed set. But there is only one that I care about. Only thing I want is the dodo. If I get a dodo, it's all worth it, even if I lose. Please! Please! You couldn't have given me like any of the cool things from it, like you just have to give me double materia. Our list of easily killable enemies grows thin as time becomes our biggest factor. But as if to apologize for what happened earlier, Heaven on High grants us a mercy. Please. Yeah! No way! You're joking! Oh my god, I'm sighting. I am fortuning, and I got my Odin back, baby! Let's go! All that time wasted watching the floor 90 boss guide. No, that time wasted was actually perfect, because it got us to the perfect cycle. I was actually doing a speedrun skip there. Now we're given a much bigger safety net of time. The boss would die as soon as we got there. Welcome to the Elder Magicite. Thank you! With 7 minutes remaining and Onra down, we're on the last stretch. That floor set took a lot. Some of my most important Pomanders, like Serenities, which can cleanse the debuffs a floor can randomly give, were gone. And again, time is our biggest factor now. I wasn't going to be able to kill enemies fast enough to get through to the end normally. We needed to rely on wipes. Pomanders like Petrification or Magicites that allow us to instantly kill the enemies on the floor and rush past it. But I only had 3 of those. Wow! 3 stars! What the heck is this? If you're gonna give me 3 stars, give me the dodo! What the heck is the clay? What is that supposed to be? I don't want a jar of dirt! Centaur never. Kubinashi never. Dodo never. Axe Nupepo never. Either way, it would be enough. I just needed to get lucky. 7 hours into the run, the first time I've ever reached floor 91, it's time to get my title. That's it! It killed me through Super Bullet. I didn't even get 1 floor. Or not. Okay. Well, that was pretty epic chungus. One day I'll be back. But for now, we have some MSQ to do. Let's go make some progress, shall we? We're 2 for 2 on duty, failing 1 floor away together. Oh, fantastic, Aurora. Can you do me a favor and fail on 99 next time? So that I can make it to 100? That'd be very appreciated. A quick visit to my house to make sure we don't lose it to auto-demolition, and stopping in for a fight with Grandpa, we take our first steps into Dohn Mheg. Shaming ourselves with a Say Chat quest, the next dungeon, Dohn Mheg, is unlocked. unlocked. We enter level synced, hoping this would go just as well as Holminster Switch. The Dawn Fast Fwath come with a wonderful little mechanic where they buff one of the enemies near them. The cast is interruptible, and the buffs are very dangerous, so with every new pull of enemies, I get to fling myself at a frog. A quick skip through the flower fields later, we're at the first boss, Ankhthon. Lance Blood is a weak AoE that summons puddles around the arena. One hit brings the puddles to the surface, the next makes them bubble up, and on the third, a geyser will burst from below them, knocking up anyone nearby. Candy Cane is a tank buster, dealing 12,000 damage, and Laughing Leap brings the boss back to the center of the arena for another Lance Blood. Afterwards though, rather than just hitting the middle, Laughing Leap turns into a party stack, hitting us for another 12,000 damage. For this dungeon, we're level synced to 74, meaning that our best healing comes from Chaotic Cyclone. It does less damage than Fell Cleave, but if I use it with Raw Intuition, it guarantees we get a critical heal, and when we're dealing with attacks this close together, it can make the difference and just barely keep us alive. That's the entire boss fight, but just because it only has a few mechanics doesn't mean this was quick. 14 minutes are taken off our dungeon timer on this boss alone. Lord of the Lingering Gaze, more like Lord of the Lingering Boss Fight. Yeah, okay, moving on. I have 90 minutes to get through a dungeon before I'm kicked out and forced to restart. 3 bosses, 12 sets of normal enemies between them, and the final boss normally taking at least 20 minutes. Anything longer than 30 minutes to get to and beat Ankhthon meant we're on the back foot and need to start trying to make time back. One swarm of bees later, we reach the second boss, Griaule Tree. To get ourselves back on track, we need to have the tree down in 13 minutes. Fodder spawns 2 painted saplings around the arena, each tethering to the boss. Blocking a tether will, once it resolves, give you a buff, making your character taller and increasing your damage and health. But with one more tether than I can block, the boss also gains this buff. Twinge is a conal AoE, a quick and easy dodge. Timber does 3600 damage to everyone in the arena, and Coiling Ivy spawns a plant to lock us in place. A huge boon, as it gives a second target to attack and heal off of with Chaotic Cyclone. Those are all the tree's mechanics. But there's one problem. The growth buff we gain from fodder reaches its maximum when I get hit by it twice. But for the boss, it keeps going past that. Higher and higher, until at 5 stacks, this boss had an enrage. In fact, we were lucky with how the enrage worked. The boss is programmed to spawn exactly 1 more painted sapling than there are players in the dungeon. In a worst case, if they had just built this to be based on a party, there would be 5 tethers every time. Our only saving grace is that we get the growth buff as well. That attempt hadn't made it far, but the buff increased our damage, speeding up the boss's death. Now, this was a race against time. I'd need to kill the tree before it reached 5 stacks, or figure out some way to survive afterwards. For now, with Ilmag unlocked, we've got new opportunities for crafting some actual gear. Though it does come with one problem. Both my gatherers and crafters are too low level for Shadowbringers. So before we can start planning gear upgrades, I need to level up to actually see what's available. Gatherers are first. With Botanist only being 1 level away from the next tier of items, we grab a quick custom delivery and hit level 75. Somebody just said in Say Chat, it's the guy. And thankfully, we collected enough to level my miner as well. I won't be collecting a bonus, but I will be collecting my bonus. I'll see you on the other side. And that's all I can do this week, right? I don't get to do multiple, or do I get to do multiple since I can unlock? I've never got around to doing expert deliveries. Can someone explain to me what just happened in League terms? So right then I was the jungler and I went over and I killed my scuttle crab that respawns once every week, and it gave me a big boost of experience and gold. You can do multiple customs per week? Okay, great. We're a bit short at level 74, but with Stormblood complete, we can unlock a new custom delivery NPC in Rhalgr's Reach and get even more experience. I only have 3 deliveries remaining. So you know what that means, chat? I'm not gonna do the rest of these deliveries, because that way, every single week I spend 6 deliveries and get a level instead of it stopping at 3 in the middle every time and upsetting me. For right now, my armorer is one of the only crafters that can make us on-level gear, so we do a bit of shopping around to see if an upgrade is even possible in our locations. Realistically, anything below Titan Bronze isn't an upgrade, and would end up being so insignificant that it's just a waste of time to go for. Titan Bronze needs Titanium and Titan Copper. and Titan Copper. Hey, wait a second. I can make Titan Bronze. Okay, level 76 gear. 409, not bad. So we've got our first and only available target, Titan Bronze. And at the same time, we grab our hunt marks from the Crystarium and start earning sacks of nuts for our inevitable hunt gear upgrade.
Whoa, look at that. Wait, hold on. What the heck? Who are you? A Zonyer skin map for me?
Absolutely gorgeous. 50% of the time, 100% of the time. Thank you very much, video game. Oh, don't mind me. Just a simple miner that is very deathly afraid of giant blue boats. I sure hope there's not a giant blue boat there when I turn around. That would be terrible. That would just be the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I'm so very glad that I don't have to see any giant blue boat. Oh, okay, thank goodness. I was worried there might have been a giant blue boat there for a sec. I don't know what you're talking about. What giant blue boat? Chad, you're going crazy. I don't see a blue boat anywhere. They're just not here. You'd think I would see, like, you're talking about this gigantic ship. It's just not there. I would know. I can see blue. This is excuse me, giant boat. This is the greatest idea I have ever heard in my life. a giant blue boat. Anyway, now the map spells dig. Zonyer leather, hard silver, dexterity alkahest. What the heck are you talking about? Wait, I can't even make Titan Bronze stuff. What am I doing this for? Titan Bronze was a bust, as the other materials weren't obtainable, but that's only for armorer. We still had accessories as a possible upgrade, and a new weapon, but first we have to level again. This time through the Crystalline Mean, a mini version of custom deliveries that you can repeat forever for a nice boost of experience. Blacksmith first, as our main problem right now is killing the boss fast enough. A weapon upgrade is always the priority.
Gazelle hide? How do I get gazelle hide?
If gazelle hide, how me go find? One quick stop in at the Gold Saucer for an event reward. This is the worst abomination I have ever created. For all of my dear photosensitive viewers, please close your eyes. I will tell you when you can look again. This is your warning. Alright, for all of my dear photosensitive viewers, you may now look back. Blacksmith is level 74, and we get a glimpse at our Titan Bronze axe, once again out of reach. So we go back into Dohn Mheg, this time on Silence Echo instead of Level Sync. Access to our full suite of abilities will help our damage. From Primal Rend to Inner Chaos, we had a major spike in attack power. I can't kill in time even on Silence. Even then, it wasn't enough. But we still had a chance. This wasn't a hardened raid. We could live it, just not for very long. With each auto attack dealing 24,000 damage, it would be a desperate race against time. This had gotten us much closer, but we were still far from our clear. 4, 3, 2, 1. No, okay. Bloodwetting there would have gotten me the crit heal AoEs, but oh man. No, dude, okay. 30k off a flat auto. I really need a lot more ready for healing there. 17.2%. With no craftable upgrades in range, we had but one choice left. I'd have to sell my nuts for a new weapon. Sacks of nuts can be earned from the Crystarium hunt board, and we had access to every level of the hunt from the very beginning. Rank 1 hunts were all enemies in areas we could reach, Lower Calusia, Amarang, and Lakeland, but would only give 3 nuts per. Rank 2 would give 4 nuts, and we could occasionally find them in areas we could reach, but the big payouts came from rank 3 hunts, each giving 15 nuts. These could be in any area in Shadowbringers, so we'd likely only get 1 to 2 targets every day.
Hold on, you wait just a minute. You're telling me I could trade my nuts to this lady and she'll give me a shield?
I need to stop. I needed to be stopped. It can't keep going on. With how close we were getting, a weapon should hopefully be enough to clear, which would only take 140 nuts. Best case scenario, we get an elite hunt mark, a weekly B rank for 100 nuts, but we're not so lucky since we can't access Raktika just yet.
Yeah, Mudman! Hello, Mudman! It's so good to see you. Look at his little face! Oh.
A good few days of nut collection later, our shiny new Deep Shadow axe is in our hands.
Okay, we went with Iron Bill last time. What about a Vintage Bill this time? How about that? I don't have any Glamour Prisms. Alright, Vintage Bill.
And we enter Dohn Mheg one more time.
Okay, very nice.
For all the celebration in the world, we're not done yet. There's one more boss that's waiting for us. Thankfully, we managed to get our clear with plenty of time left over. This should be enough of a safety net to die a few times while learning the mechanics.
Now, yeah, I don't remember the rest of the dungeon. I hope it's doable. Good luck.
Past the hordes of water elementals, that mischievous little frog from earlier returns to center stage as we begin our face-off against Ankhthon once again. Crippling Blow is a tank buster, dealing 15,000 damage. Virtuistic Capriccio is a raid-wide bleed, dealing a total of 2,000 damage. Imp Choir is a gaze, forcing you to turn away, and Toad Choir cleaves a large area in front of the boss, turning anyone hit into a frog. Then, shortly after, Ankhthon jumps to the north end of the arena and casts Funambulist's Fantasia, a knockback sending us to the south end of the arena and changing it, leaving only a twisted tightrope path to reach them. Falling from the path at any point respawns you at the south end with a brief stun. During this phase, Ankhthon wields their Liar's Lyre, using it to cast Finale. If we don't make it over there and destroy the Lyre in time, we die to Finale's 10 million damage. This was a hard enrage. Not worried at all. With the Lyre broken, we enter phase 2. Jumping to the center, Ankhthon casts Changeling's Fantasia, transforming themselves into the Shade of Fear. Corrosive Bile shoots stomach acid out in front of the aberration, and flailing tentacles crash down at each intercardinal direction. With that, they turn back into Ankhthon and continue as before. All their attacks are the same, and we've entered the easiest phase. That is, until the very end, with one last Changeling's Fantasia.
Here we go. Okay, there is something else. It really seemed like there wasn't gonna be anything. Oh, okay. No, my performance. He turns into a frog. Okay, well, see you later, Ankhthon. And in just under an hour, Dohn Mheg is complete. Another victory, another step in our journey, leading us slowly but surely towards the first of the big 3 fights for Shadowbringers. The King of the Fae, Titania. The training wheels are off. Our introduction to Shadowbringers through its dungeon fights has come to an end. Now we've reached the real start to this expansion. The first of 3 bosses that will push me to the absolute limits, and the first of the 3 biggest threats to this challenge.
Why? Why did you imprison us? Such boredom, such tedium have we suffered. It is unfair. Unfair. Come and play with us.
The Dancing Plague is unlocked, and our battle with Titania begins. First, level synced. Bright Sabbath is a raid-wide that deals 6,000 damage. Orange Phantom Rune hits everywhere in the arena, leaving only a small space to dodge under Titania themselves. Divination Rune is a tank buster that hits everything behind its target and deals 13,000 damage. And Mist Rune is their first mechanic for Phase 1, spawning 4 puddles at each cardinal direction. After a short timer, any puddle without someone standing in it comes to life as a Spirit of Dew. The spirits attack while Titania uses Flame Rune, a party stack that deals upwards of 100,000 damage. Standing in any remaining puddle of water will reduce the damage taken, but the spirits will explode with Spring Shower, increasing the damage we take for 2 minutes. We make it through with Holmgang and see the second Phantom Rune. Purple Phantom Rune hits a large area around Titania, allowing me to get some distance and start healing. Then, Midsummer Night's Dream signals the end of Phase 1. The castle around us changes to a wide open forest. Growth Rune sends out slow-moving vines in a star pattern, taking up most of the arena. Getting caught in these vines will lock you in place and burn through your health. Another Phantom Rune and Bright Sabbath, and we fall to an auto attack shortly after.
Almost.
That was pretty good. I almost made it to end of Vuln stacks. I think just a little bit more on ads with Holmgang and I can make that work. Titania's auto attacks are physical, so we can take the chance while they cast to run away and save ourselves just a little bit of damage. Do this enough and we've got the health we need to make it to Frost Rune. Large AoEs cascade outwards starting from the center, but so long as we can dodge them all, our Vuln stacks are finally gone, meaning from here we've made it through the hardest heal check. And now, after all that, the actual reason this fight is such a massive wall. The most notorious ad phase in the entire game. Mustard Seed, Peace Blossom, and Puck appear and need to die before Titania's power reaches 100%. Unlike every other ad phase, they attack with an onslaught of abilities, closing off the arena with AoEs and 2 back-to-back tank busters from Peace Blossom and Puck. And to top it all off, we hadn't survived long enough to hit that 3-minute mark, so there was no echo buff to save us. One more try, the fight starts at 44 minutes left on the instance timer, and we died to the ads at 3 minutes and 49 seconds, so now we'll get the echo. What? How is that? Did I accidentally leave it I did leave it silent echo. Oh, that's so stupid of me. Okay, but at least I know there's no question that I definitely got echo with that. With my settings fixed, we get our first stack of echo. But even with a 10% buff, I only managed to get one of the 3 ads down to 70% before dying, and that had taken a third of my time. For now, level sync is out the window. There's no universe where I can do an extra 3 times damage in the time I had. Another day, we try level sync one more time, but even at a 50% echo buff, it's a failure once more. This ad phase was a massive wall. We couldn't pull any punches here. Returning one more time, we enter with no restrictions and gain the Epic Echo. But this isn't a Realm Reborn anymore. Epic Echo hasn't been that illustrious 300% buff for a long time. Now it's a measly 30% boost, 1/10 of the strength it once gave. That's a lot better than I thought. 30% is pretty huge. I thought Shadowbringers was only a 10% Epic Echo. With the Echo buff capping at 50%, this meant we could reach, at best, an 80% boost. But it also came with much stronger abilities. Ad phase once more, we have the final tree at 35%, but fall just short of our goal. This could be done. We were on the cusp of victory. I wasn't strong enough now, but it was at least within reach. Next step is to finally upgrade our gear. All of this had been using the equipment from Stormblood, so we had a lot of options for improvement. Or we would, but right now our only real choice was hunt gear. I had access to Calusia and Amarang, but only half of them. Most of the resources we needed to craft better gear was locked away behind the MSQ. And to make things worse, many of the valuable hunt monsters were also out of reach, sitting atop the cliffs of Calusia or Western Amarang, just like our materials. For a full set of armor and weapon from the nut marks, we would need 865 sacks of nuts. It's the currency's name, okay? It's not my fault. And today, I earned 37. If we assume I can consistently get that every day, it'll be 24 days before I can defeat Titania. But every week, I get a chance at a B-rank elite mark. If it just so happens to be one of the 3 in the areas I have unlocked, we'll get an influx of 100 marks right then and there. This week, we're not so lucky, so we spent some time winding down with the little minigame box at the end. No sliding puzzles. No, never. I'm concentrating. What am I concentrating on? Play. Oh. Who the heck are you? I'm the greatest gamer of all time. I was very concentrated. Thank you. I tried my best. Anyway, Kupo. Wait. Hold on. Kupo could be in a minute. What is cheap dungeon? What the heck? A key is required to proceed. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. They were just hiding this in my toy chest? I did it. Wait, how many floors is this? What? There's 5 levels? Are you crazy? That's too much. Way too much. I could do a jigsaw, but that is way too complicated. Never mind. Kupo Adventure. 1 is all we need, baby. Come on, work your magic. No, I'm gonna be poisoned. No! All right, you know what? We don't gotta worry about it. A few chatters asked me why I don't just break out Pictomancer and get past it that way. So we end our minigame bonanza and show them and you exactly why. Now, I already know the answer to this, but I mostly just want to do this to show you how badly this is gonna go.
Yeah, no, that hit for 78k. While I was in the water, mind you, I got hit for 78,000. I have 78,000 health. Unfortunately, the Fae are too powerful to be super blasted by Pictoman. So what are you gonna give up to me today? Go get the sushi that I paid you to get. That's what I'm giving up to you today. Go eat sushi. I want your ability to taste eggs. You can't taste eggs?
With the Fae in my chat placated, we get our wondrous tales done for the week.
Man.
And push Warrior towards level 93. At levels 96 and 100, we gain 2 incredibly powerful abilities. Primal Wrath, a 700 potency attack that hits everything around me, and Primal Ruination, the ability that turns Warrior into a walking nuke. Both of these would be a huge boon to this fight, dealing heavy damage to all 3 adds at the same time. Only 80,000 experience off a level, we do a quick fate, and now we're actually level 93.
Alright, that was not enough experience to level up. I need 4,000 more experience. There we go, there's the level I was looking for. I actually have no desire to do a Forlorn Maiden now.
One more stop, we grab the Shadowbringers Masterwork recipes for Blacksmith and Armorer. Our ideal target would be something like Neo-ish Guardian gear. Most likely the best we could craft with script equipment. But none of them were within reach, with most needing materials purchased from the Poetic vendor, which isn't available until the end of Shadowbringers. We've done as much as we can today, so from here on, it's a slow daily grind to the finish, unless we can find some other path forward.
I do have to check something while we're here. Let's visibly confirm that the rock slide exists and I cannot access Amaurot. The hole is not filled with rocks, but the gate is closed.
Another wondrous tales done, we do have one option to check. Zonir skin maps give us access to the treasure dungeons of Shadowbringers and some unreachable materials.
Portal! 3 Titan bronze ingots, 2 pixie cloth. Okay, hold on. We get the wheel! I love the wheel! Yes!
There are 4 grades of Alkahest, and the highest grade we could get from any map was a grade 2. Grade 2 Alkahest craft the Facet gear from the end of Shadowbringers. That was weaker than the Hunt gear. Facet equipment has an eye level of 450, and the augmented Deep Shadow Hunt gear has an eye level of 470. Plus, I can't even survive in the Shifting Oubliettes. The dungeons are a lot easier to survive in, but give worse materials, so no matter what, this didn't make a difference.
I think that's probably where I'm going to call it for the night. We have a lot of time-gated things for now. This is a horror scenario. What is this inventory? Don't judge my inventory, okay? I work hard to make this a good inventory every time I'm told to organize it by letter or mess it up as much as possible. There's a lot more color to these things than we might assume, so I went with the more gradient coloring that they're using, you know? We're doing like the color breakdown, okay? The only thing that I can organize truly by color is the reds. That's the only thing that has mostly red.
Another rabbit hole is materia, those shiny little rock candies I can use to give myself the best stats possible. I didn't really have a good way to get them. My main source during the Susano clear was Chloe's Bronze Certificate shop, but now it doesn't have any of the lower level materia as options. Chat suggested Blue Mage, as once I hit a high enough level, you unlock a shop that sells it.
It's time to level up Blue Mage and see what it feels like to level Blue Mage in this current climate. 200,000 experience for that. Oh, you know what I could do? I could just vibe all of these, right? Just a little bit ridiculous.
So we'll slowly be leveling that in between our dailies.
Destroy my inventory. Okay. We just sorted my inventory by color last stream. And I suppose this stream, we are going to return it to its original state. Somebody threw a tomahawk grenade, Solo caught it, put it into his inventory, and it blew up. And I think the impact site is going to be this first page. That's the impact site that is on fire. This is maybe my best inventory yet. I'm going to be completely honest with you. This one might be my favorite one ever.
Warrior hits level 94.
Level 94, baby! Okay, now we have Enhanced Rampart, which I don't know what that means.
And we've got 454 nuts, so it's time to do some spending.
Step 1 of the solo plan is complete. Step 2 is the rest of the equipment. But this is a pretty huge difference. I'm going to be honest with you. These gear pieces are probably the most important.
We've got an upgraded weapon, hat, chest piece, and pants. These were the most important pieces of the entire set, and enough justification for me to give Titania another attempt. Losing with the final tree at less than 1%, this was it. The echo buff increasing our damage, it's time to clear the ad phase. I had forgotten to mention, these ads have a phase 2. All 3 of them had to die a second time. We were nowhere near the end.
I do 4%. Okay, they don't have different health there. It looks like it is just the same amount of health twice.
My saving grace was it was most likely just kill them twice. They didn't seem to have extra health the second time, but there was still a big problem. A lot of my damage in the first phase came from the fact I could hit all 3 of them at the same time. Most of my strongest attacks had a built-in area of effect damage, but while they're gigantified, I couldn't hit 2 of them together, let alone all 3. This wasn't a real 50-50. If I wanted to kill them, the first phase had to be done somewhere in the ballpark of 35 and 40% of the enrage. Right now, my best was 82. Getting Blue Mage to 80, my plans to run through the shop for materia met a bit of a hiccup. We had believed that it was locked behind the level 80 Blue Mage quest, which needed a spell I couldn't reach with our current areas. Turns out it only needs the level 60 quest, at least to unlock it initially, and only some of its stock is locked behind the 80 quest. Which stock? I don't know, but it doesn't seem like materia is part of that. Either way, I only learned this now researching while writing the script. I never find this out during the actual attempt, so for us, this materia method was another dead end. Outside the rest of our hunt gear, the last upgrade we can work on right now is a new food buff. So we grab ourselves a shiny set of level 80 crafter gear and start shopping around. Our best option is pizza, but even with the current equipment, we didn't meet the requirements to make it.
Will a food buff be enough for this? Maybe?
There is one buff that can get us the stats we need, but not among the high-level foods, no. If I wanted a strong enough food for this, we needed to go back to the middle of Stormblood.
What? Level 66? This is the most insane recipe I've ever seen in my life. Why is this so much exponentially better than the 4-star level 80 recipe?
Not even max level, just some random level 66 item. Gem algae for algae salt, fennel, sun cabbage, Girabanian carrots, mountain popotos, and killing stepzo for zochuck makes our warrior stew, which gives us the craftsmanship we need for our pizzas. Now for a full test. With food buff and getting our maximum buff of 50% echo, the first phase is down at 57%.
Don't know if I'll be able to get the rest with this, but this looks much better. Okay, good attempt. I'm most of the way there on damage. Yeah, this is absolutely insanely huge improvement for just having 3 new pieces of gear. There's no question in my mind once I've got all of these replaced with hunt gear, that's probably going to be good enough.
But while waiting for that hunt gear, a new gift arrives, delivered on a silver platter.
Hello everybody, how are we doing? I did a singular day of hunting for solo, but on that singular day, I got 130 nuts. You can't get much better than that. But while we are having these conversations, I'm going to go check what the B rank for this week is. Wait, that's another one we can do, baby. Okay, alrighty. All right, there are my 100 sacks of nuts. All right, I need 270. I need 40 more. I can get that with the rest of these. But before we do that, we're just gonna head back to a little Ulda real quick, just for a tiny little peek in, just for a little hellosies. Okay. With all of these different options in the Mog Pendium, when I get the Reveling Kamui Fife, I mean, come on. They added that for me specifically. There's no way they didn't put the Reveling Kamui Fife in here so that I can get it. Reveling is the Susano Fife. And because of that, this is everything that we'll need to be able to win. So I'm just gonna grind out 30 tomestones, and that's all that we're going to need to do of this. And it's gonna be oh, I accidentally scrolled down. Oh yeah, that's probably pretty good, huh? Every single piece of Neo-ish Guardian gear is going to cost the equivalent of 5 Aurum Veil runs.
Normal quality Neo-ish Guardian gear was weaker than the hunt gear I currently wore. If I wanted this to be an improvement, I needed to desynth them into their base materials and recraft them into a high quality version. These were a slight upgrade to our gear, but one that was constantly farmable. But getting the materials was still a problem, with the biggest one I care about being the grade 3 alcahests of vitality. If I could get those, we'd be set, and I'd have unlocked a new upgrade for Titania.
So, if we assume I'll need an average of 6 pieces, and then plus 1 for the chest piece, we've got 31 pieces that I need. If I get all 31 of those with perfect luck, I get exactly the thing that I need 31 times in a row, I will have to run Aurum Vale 155 times. And that's if I get literally everything perfectly. If I get a single one that I do not need, then it adds 5 more Aurum Vales immediately. Only 155. Easy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, easy. What? You know what? I have another thing. Don't I? What's the thing? Wanderer's Palace gives 4. 465 divided by 4 means I only have to do it 117 times. Oh, Chirurgeon. Oh, that's one of the easiest big fish of the game. I'm gonna do that. Are you kidding me? I did promise a fishing stream.
Stealing the luck from my dear friend Sonotic Scribe gets us the Chirurgeon, a mini-mog challenge that gives us an instant 10 tombstones.
Mogpendium reward is available. I will take my 10 tombstones. 10 of 465 minimum. Now we gotta figure out what the solo lore is. If anybody's gonna know what the solo lore is, it'll be Sonotic Scribe. I'm just telling you that from now.
Of all my testing, Cutter's Cry ended up being the fastest dungeon, at just around 7 minutes per run.
Oh, hi, Fruity. How's it going? Everybody's coming to visit me today. This is great.
There's one other source of easy tombstones, Air Force One, the only gate in the Gold Saucer I can participate in solo. But it doesn't show up that often, so we'll have to check back later. For now, the day is done, and we've got 31 tombstones to spend. Enough for 2 pieces of armor.
Pants are probably gonna get me leather, because it looks like they're leatherworker based. So, you know what? I could buy 1 of each for right now, just to start us off. Watch in awe as we obtain the first items. Please give me my grade 3 alcahest. Okay, you know what? Sea Swallow leather, good. I now do not need any more Sea Swallow leather ever. And Dustcord cloth. Very nice.
Just for the chest piece, if I want to craft this, I need 2 cobalt alloy ingots, 2 dustcourt cloth, 1 sea swallow leather, and 2 grade 3 vitality alcahests from desynthing. 2 of 7 materials down for a single piece of armor, we're on average earning 1 desynth every 35 minutes. And I needed a minimum of 31. This is gonna be a while.
Nobody needs to nut anymore. We have done it. And now, you may wish to know that all of our right side accessories, augmented deep shadow earrings offending, augmented deep shadow necklace offending, a bracelet offending, and 2 rings offending. And as a final memory, I get to just keep hold of 5 nuts, just to remember that we once nutted.
The plan from here is Neo-ish Guardian armor, so we ignore the hunt glove and boots, and we're done with our hunting dailies. But no matter how many descents we did, nothing. We get a brief glimpse at victory, but never again.
I really never thought I was gonna see one, I'm gonna be honest with you.
For even a single piece of armor, I needed 2 alcahests, but we never got a second. So after a couple of days, I gave up, went back, finished our hunt gear, and that was the end of it.
I now stand before you in a full set of eye level 470.
Luck just wasn't on our side, and the Neo-ish Guardian upgrade slipped out of reach. Titania was once again standing before us, and we were now in the best gear we could get. This had to be enough. But it just wasn't. There was one final upgrade we could do, one that I haven't done since Susano, and one that would take everything from me. Shop vendors in the Crystarium sell early Endwalker equipment. I could buy these and desynth them down into the materials to recraft them into high quality gear, making them stronger than anything else I could get. But this came at a very expensive price. Literally. I have very few sources of gil, the main ones being MSQ and first-time dungeon clears. My funding was limited, and a single chest piece cost over 40,000 gil. That, and one other problem. Trousers, I think, means weaver, even. Dude, this is the most painful armor set I've had to make since A Realm Reborn. 2 pieces are leatherworker, 1 piece is weaver, and 2 pieces are armorer. This would be broken down into 3 sections. First is the easiest, a weapon upgrade. A high durium axe requires 3 high durium nuggets and 1 amatrine, and my blacksmith is probably good enough to make it.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
Next is left side equipment, my armor. For a full set of eye level 515 armor, I had a ridiculous shopping list across 3 different crafters. Hydurium helmet and arm guards for armorer, Gadrassin coat and boots for leatherworker, and dark hempen trousers for weaver. That needs dark hempen cloth, Gadra leather, dwarven mithril ingots, dwarven cotton, hydurium nuggets, sea swallow leather, dwarven mithril nuggets, and amatrine. An insane amount of materials. Then, if all that wasn't enough, a full set of accessories needed 6 more amatrine and 6 more hydurium nuggets. Grabbing an overdue upgrade for my blacksmithing gear, we can successfully perform the craft, so now we just need the materials.
I can get literally all of them from the sword. Alright, I'm buying the sword instead. Okay, that's the amatrine. Starch glue. Very nice. Hydurium, maybe? Hydurium, very nice. Alright, extra starch glue. That's fine. I need 2 more. Okay, that's a starch glue, and that's a lumber. I don't really care about the lumber. Alright, starch glue once again. And starch glue once. I'm just gonna buy a bunch. Can I get hydurium from the armor? So I can get stuff for the other things while I do. There, that's probably gonna be enough. If that somehow is not enough, don't ask. Okay, I hope I need a lot of starch glue for something. I really hope I need a lot of starch glue for something. Battlecraft demi-materia? Really? Dude. Thank you. 1 more durium. What a well-aimed kick that was. Oh my god. Alright, well, sure.
I started desynthing from my weapon materials at 801,000 gil. I now had 249,000 remaining. But we did get some extra. 2 extra amatrine, 3 extra hydurium, and 2 gaja leather. Though the 6 extra starch glue is completely useless and cost us a grand total of 181,668 gil. 132,000 gil left. It's time to see what all we have the materials to make. 1 hydurium axe, some hydurium arm guards, and that's it.
I want the helmet. I can't help it. I want the helmet. I have no money left. I want the helmet.
Desperate for 1 more piece, we used the level 78 desynths to go for the dwarven materials I was missing.
I have literally no money left to do any more than this with. I'm barely gonna be able to teleport around. How about that? How about that? The last possible one. And there goes all of Solo's money. I have not had this little funding in like 2.5 years. Better not mess up this helmet.
Helmet successfully made.
An absolutely massive jump for 3 pieces of gear.
It had cost me 800,000 gil to get 3 of the 11 armor pieces.
Now we try Titania again and see how much of this gear I'm gonna have to make.
2 of 3 adds down when the enrage completes. It's looking like we'll at the very least need a full armor set. The leatherworker and weaver gear pieces were a big problem because they were nowhere near the level to craft them. And our answer is leaf quests. For our leatherworker, we grabbed Smilodon skins for Smilodon leather, and that's it. Nice and easy.
Do you want to take a real crazy risk? You want to know what can desynth into a dwarven mithril ingot? the helmet that I worked so very hard for. So yeah, why not? I replaced it already. Forget about it. Okay. Wow. That one sucked. Oh, might as well do the next one. Hey! Look at that! The regret is now deflected. All the doubters are the ones that must now regret.
We had one of the more annoying materials and 78k from the leaves. If I could just get 2 Gaja leather, we'd have a shiny new chest piece. And after spending every last cent once again,
Wow!
our Gaja skin coat of fending is complete. On top of all this, we're spending the time each week to level warrior, still aiming for that level 96 power spike. Challenge logs get us to level 95, and 1 week later, another round of challenge logs and wondrous tales
What?
gets us to 96.
And we're level 96. Congratulations. I now have enhanced inner release, which makes this button turn into an extra damage button in a bit. This is how Solo gets all of the pretty axes to swoon over him. What just happened? Fix it. No, what happened? Come on.
Just in case we need accessories, I get my goldsmith to level 80 with mudstone whetstones, and weaver to level 79 off bright linen yarn. All these leaves get us 300,000 gil to desynth with for 2 ametrine rings, 1 earring, 1 failure, a choker, and bracelet. Boots and pants are left, but we're once again out of money. So now we need to resort to our one and only gil farming method, the vault. Entering the vault on Blue Mage and killing the first 3 sets of enemies earns us a bit over 6,000 gil in 2 minutes. And at my absolute best, I could get it down to just 53 seconds. Though we don't get the Gaja leather we need, so for now I ignore the last 2 items. Instead, we run and make some grade 3 infusions of strength from Stormblood and test Titania again with the new gear.
And so, with a whole new set of equipment, the best food we can make, the best potions we can make, and a whole new attack, this time, we clear. Yes! Okay, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There's no way I don't make that. Come on, please. Oh. 6%.
6.3%. After all this time, finally, we were right there. The tiniest difference would have cleared that. One more crit, one more attack, and that was the end. My pants and boots would clear this. Right at the end of the Moogle event, I get the Reveling Kamui, a mount that I would otherwise never be able to get, and a memorial piece to remember the Susanoo fight by. We spend an hour running through the vault, finally get lucky with desynths.
Yes. All right. We don't have to care. I don't have to think about it anymore. We're done.
Craft our dark hempen trousers and Gaja skin boots, and we've reached our peak. There is no way within the confines of Shadowbringers for Warrior to get stronger than this. But Titania wouldn't go down so easily. After nearly 2 hours of grinding attempts, 2.8%. I lost because I had missed a single upheaval. Titania wasn't going to lose to just stats alone.
A half second on my upheaval and I would have done it.
They expected absolute perfection. So we come back another day with a brand new set of strength pots to chase after that perfect run. Please let the rest of the fight be easy. Please, I can't do that again. Yes, yes.
Please. No more.
Oh, finally. Oh, finally. I did it. Finally. The second Light Warden is down. Titania is complete. At the start of Shadowbringers, we were 827 hours, and as of the first trial, we are 903 hours into solo. I'll turn in my quest now, if you don't mind. The first of our 3 great foes has been felled. Titania has met their end, and we are free. For once, at the end of a wall, I wasn't full of dread or fear. I had done it. Yet again, I had done it. If I could do this, nothing was going to stop me. Filled with joy, hope, and relief, we push ever onwards. Onwards to the end. Titania is down. It's really, truly finished. The first of the big 3 fights in Shadowbringers is complete. From here, things finally get easier. The second of our big 3 trials is Hades, but we won't be seeing him until the end of the base expansion. Our next target is something much more doable.
Golly Willikers, if I had not logged in yesterday, Solo would no longer own a house. But thankfully, I logged in yesterday.
But first, our weekly Wondrous Tales.
It's time for Rat to explain Pot of Greed again? No. This is going to be like a 2-second clip, alright? I'm just going to pull it straight from stream. Hello video. Hello YouTube video gamers. This is me, Wrath Games, from the stream checking in because everybody is saying that I'm going to do another Wondrous Tales explanation. I'm not doing that this time. Look, there's a new Wondrous Tales change. Now I can just right click the duty and it pops up. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool, chat? Look at the what?
Also, just a quick note, a lot of people have reminded me that there is a new notorious ad phase in this game with the Yans. And while I might agree, they're a Dawn Trail Savage raid. Everyone has to do Titania. You chose to do the Yans. That's your fault.
This is the perfect 3-line setup, okay? We've taken a step in the wrong direction. 3% chance at 2 lines and a 33% chance at 1 line. I think we'll shuffle it. Congratulations! It got noticeably worse. Wowie zowie, dude. What the heck what am I looking at?
Warrior is level 97. Time for the first MSQ progress in a month. Entering the Raktika Greatwood, our crafting options expand once more, and the first dungeon of the day, the Qitana Ravel, is unlocked.
Alright everybody, it's been a great time. Have a good one. I will see you on Sunday for the Qitana Ravel clear. Before we get to the Qitana Ravel, I need some me time. That wasn't it. But this one is it. That was not. Nope. I need that Cactuar dead. Otherwise, I have lost. It's over. It's over. I'm restarting. It's over. I'm restarting. Hold on. Are we wearing the tight shirt or are we wearing the loose shirt?
Now that I've finished dating this video with clothing releases, we can finally get started on the important stuff. Entering the dungeon on level sync, we're already in the strongest gear I can get. The only real upgrades we could consider are food buffs, so if I couldn't clear this now, we'd be forced over to Silence Echo. The first enemy we face is a mini-boss, the Ronkin Dreamer. Wrath of the Ronka tethers them to the statues at each side of the arena. Any tethered statue will send out a damaging beam as soon as the cast ends. There are 2 walls you can use to block the beams and avoid damage. And while that might be the extent of the mechanics in this fight, there is one other issue: time. Final Fantasy XIV allots 90 minutes for players to complete a dungeon. If your time runs out, you are immediately kicked out without exception. And the very first enemy just took 5 minutes. With 3 bosses, my basis for time is, at most, 15 minutes to get to a boss, 10 minutes to beat it, and 20 minutes for the final boss. One singular enemy just took a third of our time, and I had many more before the first boss. It's time to pull out some desperate tactics. Normally, I can't survive big pulls of enemies and have to take them down one group at a time, but for a dungeon so willing to run out the clock, I had to try. Waiting on my healing abilities to come back, we run for space and weave in damage whenever we can, but one small slip is all it takes. We had lost 3 minutes, and I had no progress to show for it. So we're back to small groups. In past dungeons, my upper limit is 4 enemies at once. So, with only 3 remaining before another mini-boss, we sneak by an optional one and start the fight. Their damage was low enough that we could survive, and by the time they fell, the Ronkin Dreamer had lost 15% of its health from AoEs. 21 minutes gone to 2 mini-bosses, and to make things even worse, that optional enemy wasn't actually optional, forcing us to go back and kill it before the door to the boss opened.
Aw, come on! Are you kidding me? I gotta beat up the little cube guy? I was skipping the cube guy for a reason. This was gonna be my strategy. Get the heck over here. How are you gonna make me kill the cube man?
8 minutes behind schedule, we reach the first boss, Lazadal. Sun Toss is a small targeted AoE to dodge. Lazadal's Scorn is a raid-wide, hitting everyone in the arena for 4,000 damage and activating one of the Ronkin statues. An active statue will explode after a short delay, cleaving half of the arena. Then, Lazadal moves to the center for Heat Up, setting one half of his body ablaze. Lazadal's Fury smashes the ground with his flaming arm, once again cleaving half the arena. And Stonefist is a tank buster, dealing 8,000 damage. The rest of the fight is a dance with Lazadal using his Fury alongside the Ronkin statues, leaving only a corner of the arena safe from his attacks. But just like the Roadster from Castor Mabania, a boss that's all dodging is as easy as it gets. Though we've lost yet more time and are now 9 minutes behind. There's no mini-boss in the next section, so we rush on and reach the Bat Squatch with 43 minutes remaining. Ripperfang is a tank buster, dealing 6,000 damage. Subsonics is a fast and weak raid-wide that hits 12 times and brings rocks and stalactites crashing down from above. Followed by Soundwave for another 3,000 damage and bringing all the stalactites crashing down. Though the bat dealt high damage, it fell just as easily as the last, and we're on the final stretch with 30 minutes left. Once again, no mini-boss, but the ads here are nothing like the previous sections. One pull was strong enough to kill me. And right before the end, I'm forced to handle 2 groups at once, with the gorillas rushing into the fight as the Forgiven Thievery get low. 2 deaths that I could not afford. Making it back, it's only that first spawn that forces the gorillas onto you, so we can pull the last Thievery from a distance and fight them all safely. With a punch so powerful it killed my recording, the last ads are down, and we reach the final boss, the Light Warden Eros. The fight starts with Rend, a tank buster, dealing 8,000 damage. Then, Hound Out of Heaven puts a pink tether on a target. If you don't get far enough away to turn the tether purple, you take increased damage and get a vulnerability up debuff. Glossolalia is a raid-wide for 3,000 damage, and Viper Poison drops puddles of venom around the arena. Then, Eros jumps to one side and casts Inhale, pulling everything towards it, followed by Heaving Breath, pushing everything away. One more tank buster, Eros jumps again, this time casting Confession of Faith, a party stack while charging its heads. As the heads on either side light up, cones of lightning will shoot out to its left and right as the party stack hits for 16,000 damage. Another Hound Out of Heaven, Viper Poison begins again, this time with one of the puddles aimed at me. Much more of the arena is covered in venom for these casts, and then the final confession of faith. This time, Eros charges the main head, sending out a blast of flame in front of it. Every 90 seconds, we'd be hit with another tank buster for half my health. With no healing left, we fall to a battle of attrition, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I started the fight at 10 minutes remaining and died after 5 minutes and 30 seconds. In that time, I had only done 38% of Eros's health, just about 7% a minute, meaning I needed a minimum of 14 minutes and 17 seconds. I lost before the fight even started. One more try, we save a whole minute on the first Ronkin Dreamer, get through the next ads with no deaths, and reach Lazadal in just 14 minutes. Lazadal falls right on time, 65 minutes remaining, and the Bat Squatch falls with 37. This time around, for the final ads, I take them out one at a time. It's slower, but reduces the damage they can deal by thinning their numbers. And for the final set of gorillas, it works even better, allowing us to kill nearly 2 out of 3 of the first wave before they start to fight. Kiting and slipping back in to pick them off, we've cleared the final enemies with no deaths and reach Eros once again with 19 minutes left. A few close calls later, Eros falls with 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. Okay.
Easy peasy. 87-minute swift completion bonus. Thank you, video game. I am the fastest Qitana Raveler in existence.
With the Ravel beaten, we can head towards the goal for this video, Malikah's Wall. But first, another week means another Wondrous Tales.
To be that close to 3 lines and get not a singular line hurts just a little bit.
And not quite level 98, just about 3 million experience off. The MSQ finally allows us to reach the western half of Amaurot, and Malikah's Well is unlocked. There was a bit more to it, like Thancred beating up someone's grandpa, but no spoilers for the MSQ here. It's time for dungeon delving. Or it would be, but that blue mage spell I mentioned needing last video is right over here, so we grab Shiltron first. And now it's time for dungeon delving. Also, we still haven't recovered from that gorilla punch earlier, so chat will be on screen for a bit longer. The enemies here are just as slow to kill, but no mini-bosses means we reach the first boss, the Greater Armadillo, right on time. All the bosses so far have been easy, so it's time for a wake-up call. Stone Flail is a tank buster, dealing 14,000 damage and dropping rocks from the ceiling. Head Toss is a party stack, dealing another 12,000 damage and leaving the mace end of its tail wherever it hits. Then, Right Round has the armadillo jump to its mace tail and spin, dealing damage to anyone nearby, before smashing the center of the arena with a proximity AoE. And then sending a cascading shockwave, forcing you to run back to the center. All of this in just 45 seconds. And it only gets worse with the Armadillo's ad phase. The pack Armadillos hit with weak auto attacks and cast Rehydration, buffing their damage for 30 seconds. Alongside these new ads, the Armadillo repeats its 45-second spam of attacks. These ads are a curse, draining the small bits of health I had and forcing me to deal less damage to the boss, but at the same time, a blessing. The boss dealt such extreme amounts of damage that if I was in a one-on-one, I'd die to lack of healing and be forced to silence Echo. But with the pack Armadillos, I can use them to get extra health from Raw Intuition, an ability that heals me for every target I hit while it's active. A small increase in damage taken for 3 times the healing. Every cycle pushed us closer and closer to the edge until the Armadillo finally claims round 1.
Yeah, wow. Okay. That is, absolutely insane.
This wasn't a dungeon boss. For the healing and damage mitigation it required, this was closer to a trial. And as one final stab, this boss took an incredibly long time to kill. The extra healing from the ads was great, but if I didn't kill them, more would spawn. I couldn't just ignore it. It had taken 15 minutes to do 50% of the boss's health. A marathon like no other. The Armadillo falls, and I've used half my dungeon time on one fight.
Now we've got to race against time. I hope this is the right direction.
One small time save. The Welholdu are the ideal enemy. Once I get them down to 30% health, they start casting self-destruct, with each cast dealing 10% damage, so they take care of themselves. We burn another 10 minutes and reach the Bucket Talos. A Face is a tank buster, dealing 8,000 damage. Wellbore is a large AoE that drills into the center of the arena and spawns 4 geysers.
followed by high pressure trying to knock you back into them. Then, the final mechanic, Swift Spill, has the Talos spin in a circle, shooting a cone of damage in front of itself at each turn. Given plenty of time to use my high damage abilities, the Talos falls, and we've got 25 minutes left. In my desperation to save as much time as I can, I face off against a group of 4 enemies and don't heal fast enough. No way it didn't give me my heal. Alright, it's over. A death at this point guarantees we run out of time. But we can still see the final boss's mechanics. As the last enemy falls, we've made it to the end and our battle with Storage. Without question, the easiest Light Warden we've fought. Heretic's Fork sends out beams of light in each cardinal direction. Breaking Wheel hits the entire arena except a small safe space under the boss, and Crystal Nail drops 4 feathers around the arena. Heretic's Fork once again, then Censure, copying whatever cast the boss just used to each of the nails. They resolve ever so slowly, giving plenty of time to dodge and focus on damage. And last, Intestinal Crank, a raid-wide dealing 5,000 damage. That is the entire fight. There's nothing left, no tricks, no threats, just dodging. But our failure at the Armadillo would not so easily be forgotten.
That is a time-lost instance.
We lost to time. But even after spending 45 minutes on the Armadillo, we were close. Just 30% left. I was right there. Now, we know there's only one real threat in all of Malikah's Well. If I could beat the Armadillo with no deaths, we'd clear the dungeon guaranteed. A new day, feeling refreshed. It's time to clear the well.
Okay. Oh, man. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Yet another Light Warden has fallen.
Thank you very much. 87 minutes and 14 second swift first time completion.
Oh, man. Okay. I don't know what to do.
Oh, what is that? We got a creature. We got a little boy. Oh, my little man. Hello, sir, my son, my child. I will take the minion. I will take the victory. 87-minute first time completion. Get me out of this dungeon.
After suffering with the Armadillo, you got one of your own. You know what?
That means it was all worth it. I'm going to name you Armadillo. Congratulations, Armadillo.
RS3 gamers, we're finally winning exactly.
The deed is done. The easy part has come to an end. Now, we press on once more towards Mount Golg and the second trial of Shadowbringers, Innocence.
Welcome back. Our progress since defeating Titania has been a rush of dungeons and tight timings, and today, we've set our sights on the holy peak of Mount Golg. Atop this peak lies our prey, Innocence, the second trial of Shadowbringers. But before that, we've got some MSQ to do.
It's good to see you. Hello, I am back. I have returned. You see, I had this thing where I forgot. Chat, I have a snake in my house. There's currently a snake in my house that I'm taking care of. So I have them in their little hospital tank. They're living their best life. If you look at a snake, right, you normally don't imagine a snake to be very powerful. These things are very strong. Her name is Tiamat. Tiamat has the ability to, like, open her tank if we don't put many books on top of them. Imagine things are very strong considering they're like all muscle. Yeah, no, it just never really connected for me. But when you have a snake sitting around your neck and you can feel all of the muscles move to like hold itself up and grip onto you, it's crazy. Downside of closing the tank with books is the snake reads and gets smarter for next time. Well then, Tiamat is quickly learning how to cook food because all of my cookbooks are currently sitting there to hold the tank shut. I might stop in and visit with Tia just to make sure that she's doing good, but otherwise, MSQ time. So, FanFest got announced! With the implications that Yoshi P has given us, new expansion might be early 2027, which means I have to somehow be done all of Solo before the start of 2027. So I have 1 year, basically, Why do you need to be done for that? Because if I can complete Endwalker before the next expansion releases, then my Sprout will go away, naturally. That is the only opportunity I will ever have for Solo Sprout to go away naturally. I do not remember this ever, but this is the most beautiful image of all time. I am participating in a PvP tournament on September 13th in the year of Naldthal 2025. I will be participating in some video gaming. I see what you did there. That's how you win over the masses, with that irrepressible aura of dependability. Chat, do I give off an aura of dependability? Do you feel like you could depend on me, of all people? Because I feel like you absolutely could not. Just show me my mech. Bring out the Gundam. I sacrifice my 3 monsters to summon Obelisk the Tormentor in attack mode. Go, Obelisk the Tormentor. Attack the mountain directly. Obliterate. No, that's Exodia. I don't remember what the attack line for Obelisk the Tormentor was. He really does look like Obelisk the Tormentor now that I see him again. He's even blue.
And so our journey through Shadowbringers culminates in this, the ascent towards Mount Gulk.
I'm about to show you that every light party that you're in that dies to these pulls is just healer no good, probably.
The most infamous wall-to-wall pull in the game, a healer's nightmare, had to be done at least once.
Alright, now it's time to get started, everyone. Okay, yeah, as expected.
Even the small groups on their own dealt enough damage to force us to kill them all one by one. With my joke pull from earlier wasting time, we're around 5 minutes behind schedule, but we can make that back with an easy boss fight. And Forgiven Cruelty fits that bill, or at least it should've. Rake is a tank buster, dealing 15,000 damage. Lumen Infinitum is a giant beam of light hitting anything in front of the boss. And then, Forgiven Cruelty moves to the center for Typhoon Wing. 3 gusts of wind spawn under Forgiven Cruelty, shooting out in a cone-shaped burst when the cast finishes. And that's it. That's the end of the mechanics.
Is this whole boss?
But the second time it casts Typhoon Wing, it adds a little bit more. 4 more gusts of wind spawn, 3 at the edge of the arena that explode in a circle around them, and the 4th is hidden under the boss. Getting hit by any of these gives a vulnerability up, increasing the damage I take and pushing us to the edge of our healing abilities. For an easy boss, 1 mistake is all it takes.
Ooh, 2 is bad.
2 stacks of vulnerability up is a death sentence. There's no recovering from that.
Well, there goes that one. Okay, before we go back into that, I need to go get more food.
A quick stop for underground spring water and some fresh mozzarella makes us some shiny, high-quality pizzas, and our ascent resumes. 4 minutes faster than the last, no mistakes this time, we're moving forward.
No tank buster for you, please. See you later. Thank you.
Okay, Mount Golga first boss is down.
Now, the mobs are weak enough that we can kill them all at the same time with AoEs and break through multiple mini-bosses to reach the second boss,
Giant Cube!
Forgiven Whimsy.
Again, with the ARR music. Torn from the heavens, very weird.
Sacrament of Penance is a raid-wide dealing 7,000 damage. Then, Whimsy shuffles its faces and casts Exegesis. Each face represents one of the squares on the arena, and every glowing square will be washed in a flood of light. This will either hit the gunpowder pattern in a Minecraft TNT crafting recipe, or a plus. Then, Catechism, a tank buster dealing 14,000 damage. Judgment Day spawns 2 meteors around the arena, giving you a vuln up if you don't stand under it, followed by another Catechism. The last mechanic, Exegesis, now spawns 2 orbs shooting out donut-shaped AoEs, forcing us to stand under them or far away while the main Exegesis cast continues as normal.
Call forth the Rubik's Cube. I do kind of love the Rubik's Cube boss fight, I'm gonna be honest with you.
As the fight goes on, the safe spots get smaller and smaller, but eventually, Forgiven Whimsy falls, and we're free to continue onwards.
Are you literate, my lord? Any good books you like? I actually can't read, canonically.
The enemies in this final area start off weak, before pushing us to the edge of life with powerful attacks and forced large fights. And one final mini-boss, Forgiven Revelry.
Okay. Let's go.
We've reached the end, and the last boss of Mount Gulg, Forgiven Obscenity. Horizon Fortissimo is a raid-wide dealing 5,000 damage. Divine Diminuendo is an AoE around the boss, hitting anyone too close. Then it casts again with Vothri's Blessing, this time with 2 more rings, leaving naught but thin curves to dodge in. Conviction Marcato shows a single line in front of the boss, but bursts outwards from all of the rings on Obscenity's body as well, followed by Penance Pianissimo, shrinking the arena's size for the next cast, Feather Marionette. Obscenity spawns 4 clones around the arena and places themselves in the center. Each body casts Divine Diminuendo, but only the main body sends out additional rings. Then they rotate, this time casting Conviction Marcato. After, Obscenity flies off to cast Solitaire Ring. 6 orbs spawn at the south end of the arena, and 6 rings appear in front of them. The orbs will slowly move north, and once they reach their ring, burst outwards in a beam of light. Then, their tank buster, Sacrament Sforzando, deals 15,000 damage. By the skin of our teeth, we've survived every mechanic. From here, it repeats, giving us our moments to rest and heal during Feather Marionette and Solitaire Ring, just enough to see us through. The final boss falls, and Mount Gulg is complete.
Okay. Whew, way better than we've been doing. That was really good. A lot more AoEable pulls there made that much cleaner. Yeah. Vothri should have just tempered some armadillo. It would have been better. Unfortunately, you're right. I will take my victory and get out of here. Gulg Planter. What could that possibly be?
I am perfect. Immaculate.
He said it. He said it. He said the name of the instance. Crown of the Immaculate is now unlocked.
Our battle with Vothri can finally begin.
Are you so determined to die? One last chance, villains! Bow down and acknowledge your king! Your god!
Level synced and overwhelmed from the very beginning, Vothri's auto attacks deal 5,000 damage. Realm Razor is a raid-wide dealing 5,000 damage, and Heavenly Host summons 5 adds, 4 Forgiven Shames and 1 Forgiven Venery. The Shames cast Scold's Bride, a raid-wide dealing 1,500 damage times 4, and Venery casts its own tank buster, Holy Blade, for 5,000 damage. Daybreak is an easily dodgeable AoE. Then, on our refusal to die, Vothri summons 4 Sinburst Meteors and casts Enthrall. Enthrall is a gaze mechanic, confusing you if you don't look away, and Sinbursts deal 5,000 damage and provide a vulnerability up if there isn't someone to catch them. Then, Vothri moves to the center of the arena and casts Guiding Light, a massive buff for all of the Sin Eaters, ending our run in an instant. We hadn't lived long enough to start stacking the Echo. I wasn't even close. I had barely lived for over a minute. So we have to try something else.
Swapping to Paladin for another try, hoping to avoid the vulns with hollowed ground, we couldn't even live to see the sin bursts, so that hope died. Level sync isn't possible, so we move on to Silence Echo attempts. Now, we're strong enough to kill the Sin Eaters as Voth respawns them, making the fight much more manageable. Though, we still don't have enough health and mitigations to survive the Sin Bursts, now dealing 8,000 damage each. And with all the Sin Eaters dead, on casting Guiding Light, Vothri has a surprise for me. A whole new set of ads, freshly buffed and ready to tear through my health. Overwhelmed, we fall once again, just barely making it further than our level sync attempts. The Sin Eaters need to be kept alive, at least until Guiding Light is cast. With no more surprises, we've pushed past our previous best. From here, Vothri repeats mechanics. Daybreak, Realm Razor, and Sin Burst. Again. Just 50 seconds after the last set. Every 45 seconds, a new set of meteors would spawn. I had no healing left, and my vulns were stacking higher and higher, making me weaker by the second. Silence Echo had failed. But we still made progress today. Mount Golg was now behind us, and there was only up from here. So we rest to come back another time. A new day brings new attempts. Or it would, but there's something I've had to do for a long time. A lovely chat member, I Love Blue Women, sent me on a quest to clear floors 1 to 100 as Astrologian, the objectively worst class to solo Palace of the Dead. This viewer has returned, and so I must once again face my Astro run of Palace of the Dead.
Goodbye. The Astro run, actually almost a year on, because we did it right before Susano. I started this Astro run just before Susano, so us being done here, this little forced Astro run of mine is just over a year old. Thank you very much, Hecate. Thank you very much for the 100 gifted subs that you gave me to force me to do this. Never again.
With that weight off my shoulders, there's one more thing I've been meaning to do for a while. The memorial piece for Susano, Picto's Kinnoweapons. Now, with our forgotten needs finally filled, we return to our battle with Vothri. I chased the dream of a Silence Echo run to no avail. I had to get Vothri to phase 2, but had no idea what the health cutoff was for that transition. And I never reached it. Our only remaining option is Epic Echo, where previously I only had enough health to survive 2 sets of meteors. I could now make it all the way to the 4th Sin Burst. And the 4th Sin Burst is 3 minutes and 20 seconds into the fight. We had gotten our very first stack of Echo. One more rest and a quick Wondrous Tales. This time, we clear. I had expected this to take a full 50% Echo buff, but it only took 10. At 40%, Vothri is downed and begins transforming into Innocence.
No, okay. Oh, okay. Just barely 600 health, I will take that. Okay.
And once he's reduced to 15%, his transformation completes, and phase 2 begins.
I see now. This is the passion of my ascension. Very well. I shall embrace this triumph.
Righteous Bolt is a tank buster, dealing 18,000 damage. Winged Reprobation sends his feather blades to either side of the arena, shooting out a trio of line AoEs targeted at us. Then, Winged Reprobation again, but a new form. A cascading rain of blades circles the arena, with only a small gap to dodge through as it goes past. Rightful Reprobation shoots blades out in every direction, and a reprise where each blade shoots back towards the center. Shadow Reaver is a weak raid-wide, dealing 5,000 damage, and then Immaculate Authority. The 5 Sin Eaters from before are born anew, with the 4 Forgiven Shames channeling power into the Venery in the center. Once all the Shames are killed, we're given the chance to attack Forgiven Venery. If they aren't killed before Immaculate Authority is fully charged, we die, with no exception. But we were close. So close, in fact, that I removed the Echo buff. We needed it to get here, but wouldn't need it moving forward. And so we face Innocence one more time.
I probably can do it no Echo, I'll be honest with you.
Thank you for the easy fight, Vothri. And good night. Okay, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. No proper echo required for second phase at all. That's it. That's the final thing for base Shadowbringers, right? Innocence has fallen, and we continue on once more, but we're not done yet. One more thing to unlock. We push through the MSQ and enter the final zone of Shadowbringers, the Tempest.
The last refuge of he who denies the light with every fiber of his being. You stand at the precipice, hero. Journey unto the heart of darkness. Finish it.
We have done it. The final zone of Shadowbringers is unlocked. Right now, as we enter the Tempest, we have a total playtime of 38 days, 12 hours, and 55 minutes. 925 hours of solo. This is where today's stream ends, and the closer that we get, the more anxious I get. Titania was unexpected, but I know that Hades is going to be bad. I don't know how bad, but we'll see. Thank you for stopping by, everybody. These moments are the end of solo. For now, at least. Right at this very minute, we fight against a being so strong that not even Susanoo can compare. With my current plans, I will win. But I won't have everything I need ready for that until February or March of next year. So this is the last you'll see of solo only for a while. The next time you see us, we will stand atop a mountain no one thought possible. I'll see you later for the climax of solo only. Hades. 3 years ago, I started the solo challenge, and in that time, there were 4 things everyone always brought up. Crystal Tower, an alliance raid we cleared with the other people doing the solo challenge and minimal interactions. Susanoo, a trial that we managed to solo by the skin of our teeth. And now, the third of that list, Hades, stands at the end of the road. Even compared to Susanoo, Hades is the biggest threat this challenge has ever faced. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We have a whole dungeon to clear first. Hello. We're gonna, is Amaurot time. Within the depths of the Tempest, past 23 main scenario quests and a role quest line I forgot to do, Gernalt seeks a particular kind of inspiration. The kind that crystallizes only at the culmination of a long and tragic tale. Complete any of the role quest lines available at the Wandering Stairs in Crystarium. Wow. Lies the city of the ancients, Amaurot, a tomb for those lost, and soon for either Emet-Selch or me. As the blaze of the final days lights before us, Amaurot is unlocked. 1 dungeon and 1 trial before the end of Shadowbringers. We enter on Warrior, level synced, for a first glimpse at what we're up against. Like every dungeon in Shadowbringers so far, while the enemies were weak enough to survive against, speed was our main issue. The first set of 3 takes nearly 3 minutes to kill, and in case you don't know, the large majority of dungeons in Final Fantasy XIV are structured with 4 groups of enemies prior to each boss, and a total of 90 minutes to get through everything before you're kicked out. 13 minutes passed, we reached the first boss, beast. Venomous Breath is a conal AoE hitting a small area in front of the boss. Meteor Rain targets a player with a massive AoE, dropping a meteor where they stood after a short delay, followed by the Final Sky, a world-ending meteor called down onto the first beast. If you aren't standing behind the meteor you dropped earlier, you take a huge chunk of damage and get a stack of Suppuration, reducing your healing and max health. Then, the meteor strike brings down a nearby building, leaving only a thin strip of the arena safe. Earthquake hits everything close to the boss, and then Meteor Rain happens again. This time with smaller meteors raining down all around the arena. The Burning Sky drops 1 last meteor on its target, dealing 5,000 damage after it lands. It was here that I realized I needed to hide behind the ones I drop, but too late. The second stack of Suppuration is a surefire death. Having died at the boss, we needed to restart the entire dungeon, knowing that there was no way we'd finish in time, even if I cleared it now. At the first beast once more, we know all its attacks and make it through on time with 66 minutes left.
Okay, that's first.
Another horde felled to my axe, we reached the second boss, Terminus Bellwether.
Oh, chicken!
But rather than explain it, the second boss is a fight that should be seen.
Oh. Chicken dies fast, dude. Yes, please. Oh. Okay. Okay, yeah, got it. Okay, great. Yep. They have reduced damage. It's not like we're fighting the actual mobs from out there. Can't stun them either. It's based on the tethers or time. I'm thinking right now it's based on tethers, and if it's based on tethers, then that means I can kill the other ads before pushing to next ads, if there's another set. Because it was as soon as I killed the second bomb that the set spawned. No, maybe not. Okay. I don't even know if there's another group of ads, but we could check this way. Okay, didn't matter. What is this? Is this why you have such low health? Because your entire fight is a DPS check? Your entire fight is a DPS check. That's 1,000,000 damage. It hits multiple times until you die, and it hits instantly each time. Okay. Wow. Absolutely insane.
This boss is nothing more than a punching bag, summoning waves of ads for you to build up your biggest damage, and then casting a 45-second Enrage. And as an Enrage implies, if it hasn't died by the time it finishes casting, then I die instead. To compensate for this, the boss only has around 30% of the first beast's health, but this is still a massive wall for a tank like Warrior.
Chicken did die fast. I'm just saying, they died pretty fast there.
The next day, we return once more, this time with Silence Echo. Now, with the powerful new attacks available to a level 98 warrior, we should be able to break through. But doubts began to prop up in my mind as I chipped away, slowly, at the normal enemy's health bars. Though, as the first beast falls once more, there's no time to doubt, only for action. One saving grace was the Bellwether's ad spawn.
Is it time-based or percent-based? So far it's looking time-based.
Percent-based means once the boss reaches a certain amount of health remaining, 80% for example, it would immediately begin the ad phase. But that wasn't happening here. We were well past the damage I had done in my level sync run, still waiting for this big chicken to fly off. Instead of damage, we had time. Time enough to rip through 29% of the boss's health. Now we just had to do the last 71% in 45 seconds.
$36. Looks like just barely not. 17.5. That's honestly really close. Maybe. Very close, but man, that sucks. Okay. Okay, 66 that time, and I can definitely do that better. If I start out with a Damnation as well, because it's attacking us during the start, we can get some early damage on from that. Nope, okay. That doesn't work out.
Try as I might, this was getting nowhere. It felt close, but we were stuck around the 20% mark. That wasn't an amount of damage I could change with a better combo. I needed something else. So for now, we step away to regroup with a Wondrous Tales.
Only remaining thing that I want is a singular gold certificate. It's not looking good for 3-line believers already. I've only clicked one sticker. Oh? No, that's a little terrible. Okay, this is gross. What am I looking at right now? That is the most disgusting setup I have ever seen. We're shuffling this. I'm not keeping that. Are you crazy? Okay, you know what? It can't get me 3 lines, but this is a much more respectable. Oh, almost. It was right there. Okay, and now Warrior is level 99.
At this point, we had a unique opportunity. Next week, I would be level 100, so for now, we can continue to push through and try and clear with Silence Echo as we are, and in a worst case, 3 streams from now, I could buy a level 100 chest piece from Chloe for silver certificates, and use the stat boost from that to clear the boss. Now the question was, how could we get stronger with our current setup? Our food was pizza, the best it could be. Our gear was as strong as it could get outside of that level 100 chest piece. The only thing missing was new potions. Grabbing our Master Alchemist books, we're hoping to make our first set of tinctures.
144. That's an extra 33 strength. That's gonna be worth it. How do I get 11 strike, Aether Sand? How do I get Spirit Extract? And how do I get Sweet Alyssum? Let's take a look.
Most of these materials were easy, which was surprising for it being the strongest potion in the entire expansion, except one.
Spirit Extract I'm worried about, actually. Is that a tome item? It is. Okay. I can desynth things for it.
Tome materials are only available from the poetic vendors, which is fine. I have plenty of poetics, except the vendor isn't available until I complete the main scenario for each expansion. So, the current quest I'm on. There was one solution though.
I can get it from desynthing a fish, but that looks like a big fish. That is definitely a big fish. Okay, we tried that once. I'm not doing it again. Fine, maybe. This fish is available for 2 minutes every hour. Unable to equip Fisher. One or more items is missing. I don't even have a fishing rod anymore, do I? I think I threw it out. I did. I threw out the fishing rod.
All of the big fish released in 5.5 could be desynthed for Spirit Extract, or at least that's what Gamer Escape says. And they've hurt me before on the whole desynth thing, but for the time being, we had to believe it. If I wanted a chance at clearing this chicken as I was now, we'd have to go fishing. And not just something as simple as grab a new fishing rod and start. No. I wasn't even close to the right level, had no gathering foods, had no bait, and needed a new set of gear.
I have to level up 5 to 10 levels. I'm mostly just trying to reason with myself on if I'm going to get Spirit Extract via fishing. Am I actually going to grind for Spirit Extract by fishing the Golden Papyra? Okay, what do I need for this? Dried high ether. Same problem, and golly gee willikers, there's another fish I can descent for it. Gold Hammer, another fish for it. Bay Rainbow, another fish for it. Opal Shrimp, another fish for it. Record Filler, another fish for it. Is there anything that descents into this that isn't a fish? Please! Hero's Gauntlet, I can't do that one.
Grabbing up some river shrimp for the weekly's Lowy custom deliveries gets us to level 73, and Maiden's Hearts for Minago gets us to level 74.
I have lost my mind a little bit, I think it's over for me, gamers. I'm out of here. Brain turny offy. It don't work. Don't work no more.
To finish things off, we take some leave quests in the Crystarium and stab some fish for an hour or so.
Everybody here, you may now clap your hands. We have done it. My Fisher is about to hit level 80. Congratulations. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And now the unfortunate part. Yeah, no, that Fisher is my highest level gatherer.
With the level we needed checked off the list, the next step is gearing. Happily spending our gathering scripts on a brand new set.
That isn't even enough gathering. How is that not enough gathering? Please. Why? I can't melt materia. It has no materia slot. There's nothing. Time for gathering food. I need 200 gathering. I hope there's a food that'll give me 200 gathering. The best I could get would be 93. I literally cannot get this fish. Because I can't make the real final set. Because it needs the materials that I get from these fish. My gathering is 1,928. For the fish that I'm hunting, I need 2,100 something. I think 2,150.
The accessories are the problem, they have no stats.
And I genuinely don't even need it to be master recipes. I just need any accessories that I could meld into. Can this fit the materia, though? That's the question. 430? Hey, 430, just barely. You can fit 21 gathering onto each of the 5 pieces. Plus 105. Accessories plus food alone would only get you 2,109. Okay. Wait, hold up, the bandana has no gathering? Really? Oh yeah, it's just perception. And I only care about perception for large fish, so I could theoretically do something else to meld gathering in. Dwarven cotton bandana, max out gathering on it, then max out gathering on all 5 lignum accessories, then use food. You reach 2,151 gathering. I need to think about the fishing stuff, man. I don't know if 33 strength is going to be enough difference. Unlike with our substats, where I can tell the exact percent crit rate or damage I'll have per stat point, for main stats like strength, we generally have no idea how impactful they'll be. Really, 33 strength could be more than enough over the 30-second burst window it provides, or it could be a 2% difference, and I really wouldn't know until I tried it. In the end, I gave in to the ridiculous gearing requirements for my fisher. Alright, chat. I need you to take the list of fish that I am about to provide to you and figure out which is the easiest one to catch. Our targets were the golden papyra and Amaurot herring, both of which needed the full fishing gear. It had been a long day of discovery and theory crafting, and my head was starting to hurt thinking of all that fishing, so we'd have to come back to it after some rest. Just stop, pause it, stop the music. I know that normally we wait for the ads to be done before we go, but we gotta go right now. I gotta go, chat. We are held to the whims of the fish. There is nothing that I can do to still the tide. The fish are upon us, and I'm going to still tide. Actually, no. Starting the day in a panic, going for a fish that would provide lower level tinctures, we fail to see a single bite and head off to grab some lignum vitae logs, dimithrite sand, iridescent cocoons, effervescent water for iridescent silk threads, and dwarven cotton balls to make dwarven cotton threads, dwarven cotton, and dwarven mithril nuggets. All of this crafts our new helmet, the dwarven cotton bandana, then to finish everything off we make some lignum vitae lumber for 2 lignum vitae rings, a necklace, bracelet, and earrings. Spending gathering scripts on materia to boost our gathering as much as possible. This is absolute biz. This is the highest gathering stat I could possibly get for myself. There is no more gathering available outside of a mushroom sauté. Frantoyos, cream top mushrooms, and yak milk make frantoyo oil and fermented butter. Then, the final ingredient, Abalathian rock salt, makes our high quality mushroom sautés. With that, we've finally got everything we need to start fishing. We're looking for 2 big fish, the easiest of which is the golden papyra. Every time we catch one, there's theoretically a 20 to 30% chance we can desynth it into spirit extract, up to a maximum of 10. And 10 spirit extract is enough for 15 grade 4 tinctures. Half an hour later, we hadn't seen a single bite, so we swap out to our other option, the Amaurot herring. Golden papyra is only available during certain times of the day, so to constantly have a chance to catch it, we need to use fish eyes, a very expensive ability that gives us a 60-second window. The Amaurot herring, on the other hand, is always available, but it has a very high chance of slipping off your line even if you see it. Also, according to the me afterwards here, I did catch the golden papyra today at some point, I just couldn't seem to find any footage of it. You didn't miss much though, it desynthed into sand. The next day, we're primed and ready for a full day of fishing. 40 minutes in, we get our first golden papyra, but before I try for spirit extract, I want to level my culinarian's desynthing level. 410 desynths later, we're at the optimal level, and now have the best chance for spirit extract. Okay, well, we can't be that lucky. I'm sure the next one... Listen, I'm going to spare you this fishing day, especially because I lost my mic audio for it. I slipped the Amaurot herring 6 times, caught 6 total fish, and got sand and materia from desynthing all of them. That was an average of 1 fish per hour. Now I can desynth this into some sand. Every single time. I don't understand. You know what? I'm starting to think leveling my desynth was a mistake. Because now I'm just gonna get materia every single time. How many materia can this game give me before I get my spirit extract? This might just continue to be that I am the unluckiest man on the planet. How many fish descents are we up to? I believe that was fish number 7 or fish number 8. Fruity, we're gonna do your steel razor. How do I catch a steel razor? Using someone else's background, that's not very solo of you. That's true, but I'm not about to turn down the god of fishing giving me a gift. You can't think about my interactions with Fruity as interacting with another person. You have to think of them as praying to a god.
Now, at this point, Fruity Snacks, Fisher Extraordinaire and Lord of the Fish Fest, was pointing me towards a different fish rather than us continuing to suffer to the golden papira or herring.
What is the steel razor's bite chance? Is it good? Is it terrible? Am I gonna slip this fish 100% of the time? Fruity, I'm starting to think that maybe you're crazy. 0.9% chance? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other possible fish for this bait? You're just now realizing this, Fruity? Why do you hate me? Yeah, but most of them bite after Steel Razor. Okay, alright. Understandable. Don't you like kill gods though? Yeah, I haven't killed Fruity yet, but if this doesn't work out, we might have some Minecraft PvP action going on, if you know what I'm saying.
We were sent to Calusia to attempt the Steel Razor. With a slightly higher bite chance than the Papira, there was one other thing that made it much more efficient to try and catch. Steel Razor can only bite in the first 10 seconds of the cast, where Golden Papiras take over 30 seconds. That means every 10 seconds, I know I didn't get the razor immediately and can cast back out rather than waiting around with the papira and the other fish there. 5 to 6 attempts per fish eyes compared to 2 or 3. The only problem is the muscle memory this created.
Understandable. But no, what? Ah! I wasn't paying attention! No! I arrested the fish! Okay, we slipped it, that's fine. Alright, that's 2 missed ones, but at least we've seen it twice, okay? That's better than last time. 1 fish obtained. Now we go for more fish, please. You know, I kind of want to keep fishing. So I think I'd prefer if the game didn't give me Spirit Extract. I think that would be great. Alright, now listen, I'm done pretending. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm done pretending. Please, give me the Spirit Extract so I can stop fishing. Please. I will not be statistically significant. I quit. We are now triple the drop rate. How does the 37.66%? So, okay, we can't take the 37.66% chance at, like, full value. 37% of less than 100 decents is really not all that much, but I can pretend, just for a moment. 37.66%. You killed 12 monsters for an item with a 0.3766% chance. With a 0.3766 drop chance. A 37.66% chance, or 1 in 2.66. You had a 0.345% chance of getting exactly 0 drops, and a 99.7% chance of getting more than 0. If that is to be believed, then we are at a less than 1%.
I gave it everything I could. But at this point, with how unlucky we were, I was beginning to believe that it wasn't actually possible until after the Poetics vendor was unlocked in the first place. So I asked Fruity for more help, having folks on the Fisher Discord attempt to get this desynth with any of the available fish without completing the Shadowbringers MSQ. Every single one of them got it, in like half the fish. I was just, truly, statistically significant games. Dedicating nearly 3 full days to these fish and nothing to show for it, it was time to move on to Plan B. Warrior to level 100.
Thank you. Warrior is now level 100 and we have enhanced primal rend. And now, we can spend some of our silver certificates, which we now have 6 of, to purchase our first piece of level 100 gear, the I-level 710 Ornate Archeo Kingdom Cuirass of Fending. I will be taking that with pride. Let's just do a quick item comparison. Oh my god! More than double
every single stat, basically. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, let's see the health difference. I go from 73,000 health to 88,000. That's 15,000 health on one piece of armor.
And now I had a piece of armor so strong, we could finally use our bronze certificates again to claim the strongest level of materia from Chloe's shop. Though I couldn't actually use that materia until I had a crafter at level 100. But this chest on its own should be more than enough to handle the Terminus Bellwether.
The one piece of armor was worth your entire left side? Yeah, you are correct.
Now, with Warrior's most powerful attack, Primal Ruination, and the strongest gear possible,
I will probably get an early spec. That was a lot closer than I would have liked, but thank you very much, chicken! Oh!
the Terminus Bellwether falls, and we can move on to the final paths of Amaurot. Just one last obstacle to overcome. Therion. Shadowwreck is an AoE dealing 7,000 damage. Apocalypsis channels a massive laser beam, taking up every inch of the arena and continuously damaging anyone standing in its way. The only safe space is 6 small divots at either side, but every time Apocalypsis is cast, one of the divots is destroyed. Then, Therion Charge has it rush forward, dealing higher damage the closer you are to its landing point. And its final mechanic, Deathly Ray, summons heads along either side of the arena. The heads take turns firing a mini Apocalypsis, leaving only a small safe haven. These mechanics repeat for the rest of the fight, as Therion pushes us closer and closer to the edge. By the end, we lose all our safe space from Apocalypsis and stand at the brink. A single Therion Charge will force us off the arena and end the fight, but they will never use it again. In its last moments, we're forced to tank the full might of Apocalypsis, but with Warrior's healing, we clear with no issue.
Dungeon over. Dungeon over. And, one left.
Amaurot is complete, and now our true goal, Hades, stands before us.
It ends this day. One way or another, it ends.
I am Hades, he who shall awaken our brethren from their dark slumber.
Show your vaunted strength, and I shall expose the lie of your fragmented existence.
Bad Faith shoots spikes of darkness north or south, depending on which side of the arena they're pointed towards. Standing behind them dodges any damage. Double makes the next casted spell happen twice. Dark Eruption drops an AoE on its target, and with Double, also has one follow you, guaranteeing 7,500 damage. Broken Faith summons discs that slowly fall from the sky. There are lines on the ground, showing the area each disc will expand to hit on landing. Doubled once more, Hades casts Shadow Spread, sending out thin cones of damage that can easily be dodged. Then it hits again, this time in the areas that were safe before. And finally, Ravenous Assault, a tank buster that deals 19,000 damage. That's all mechanics for Phase 1. Hades cycles through these continuously until you die or he drops below 10% health.
Our healing and mitigations are so strong that I have to remind you, this is our level synced attempt. Right now, my stats are capped to the limit of this duty, and we're level 80. As Hades hits 10%, the transition phase begins. Fervor of the Ancients. 10 Shadows of the Ancients spawn, ripping through your health. All of them need to die for us to progress. They fall as Hades' Enrage hits 52%, and are immediately followed by a party stack and 4 AoE attacks, hitting for a grand total of 50,000 damage. And then another set of Ancients spawn. With no time left to clear them out, Hades ends the fight.
But yeah, no. That was way too slow for there to only be 2 sets, too.
Returning again on Xylan's Echo, we barely managed to push through the second wave of ads, and are given the gift of another party stack. One final set of Ancients to go. We fail, but it was close enough that we had a real chance. And now that we knew it was waiting for us, one chance was all we need.
Nice. Okay. Barely. Very nice. Phase 2. Come on, Hades. Let's see it.
Now, we enter Phase 2. Titania is a raid-wide, dealing 3,000 damage. Shadow Stream is a massive beam of energy, damaging anyone in the center of the arena. Dual Strike is a tank buster, dealing 19,000 damage. Echo of the Lost has Hades lower one of his massive arms, swiping across the stage and hitting everywhere save for a small sliver behind it. Polydaemon's Purgation uses his wings to crush anyone at the sides of the arena. Titania once again, followed by Hellborn Yop, aiming a conal AoE at its targets after a short delay. Then, one more Echo of the Lost before captivity.
That's it. Please, don't be instant.
An unavoidable death. There was no way around it. No universe where we could survive that. If we didn't have a way to avoid captivity in its entirety, we had lost. And through all my attempts, Hades never dropped below 80%. Even compared to the first phase, his health had a massive jump. Comparing the percent damage each hit did, his health was now double Phase 1's. No tank could do this damage, and damage was our biggest problem. So we swapped to Pictomancer, the strongest class Solo has, and the class that carried us through Susano's DPS check. Though what had been simple and easy before was now a massive wall. Even with the Epic Echo, Pictomancer in its current state couldn't survive the regular fight and would drop dead to the party stacks at Fervor of the Ancients. I couldn't even live long enough to build Echo Buff. Every option Solo had failed. We needed to search elsewhere. From the start of Phase 2 till captivity, I had 90 seconds to do seemingly all of Hades' health. An impossible feat for any class, no matter the circumstance. But there had to be more to it than that. Swapping to my main, Xanther, we take the opportunity to dig in for as many details about the fight as we can. Testing Captivity's health to see if we could consider killing it with Ninja Doton or Salted Earth. Things were looking good, but while that might work, shortly after, Hades casts a Doom, which, without 4 other players, is guaranteed death once again. Testing Burst at level 100, the best I could do with so little practice and 10% Echo was 31%. But someone had found something while I looked into this. Captivity could be skipped, and we didn't need to do all of Hades' health. If I could get Hades below 30%, he would immediately stop what he's doing and enter the final phase. Even if he started casting captivity, so long as it was before he finished the cast, we would survive. But dealing 70% of his health in 90 seconds still seemed impossible. I couldn't even do it with the level 100 gear on my main. I wasn't going to give up though. I was going to find a way. I had to. There were 4 classes I'd be considering for this that, in their own way, might have enough damage to get through. Viper, Machinist, Reaper, and Samurai. I was going to try all of them, work through each of them as an option individually. If one failed, I still had 3 more chances. One of them would work. Our first choice is between Viper and Reaper. To have a chance against Hades, we need to be level 100, and these two were the least amount of leveling. It was really just that simple. Picking between the two, on the other hand, was difficult. In the end, it was down to the tiniest difference. A total 90-second burst window for Viper and Reaper had a potency difference of around 100. They were so close to each other in damage that they were basically the same option, but Reaper is stronger, and I needed every last bit of damage I could get. Plus, I've already got experience with Reaper from earlier in the challenge, so it'll be a lot less time to learn. For now, I'll try and get good at Reaper, I suppose. And then this one will be the path forward. We will start with Reaper. Time to level, I guess. The first of 4 chances, we needed to get Reaper from level 80 to 100, and then Hades would fall. Most of this was through our normal weekly leveling options. Wondrous Tales gives us a full level every week below level 90, and half a level every week past level 90. Challenge logs give well over half a level every week from the ones we can actually complete. 5 dungeon runs, leave quests, and fates. But they stop scaling once we hit level 89. Every week past that, they'll give around 7.6 million experience. With this, it would take around 15 weeks to get Reaper to 100. But that's without any extra experience gains. We were in Shadowbringers now. This isn't the start of Stormblood with Susanoo's agonizing grind anymore. We had access to real, worthwhile grinding methods. The Pixie Allied Society quests give a combat class over 1 million experience per day for maybe 10 minutes of work. Heaven on High gives just over 1 million experience every 10 floors. Even Fates were an option. With how long they took to clear, we'd gain around 1.1 million experience every 15 to 20 minutes just doing Fates in the Tempest. And at the same time, we could use both weekly custom deliveries to get Culinarian to level 100 and unlock the ability to melt my new chest piece. It wasn't that slow, desperate rush to do as many runs of Palace every day as I could stomach before I shut down. It was a consistent, enjoyable grind. And in the end, it gave us time for some unfinished business.
And we will waste no time.
Yes! 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 Father, look at me! Oh my god! And we got the max! It gave us the max roll! Then, in the final moments before it was time, a new update dropped. It feels very weird to be recording for solo not on stream, but there's been an update today, and I need to make sure that I make use of this update. Look at this, look at this. You're never gonna get 1 silver certificate for a level 100 chess piece. Woo, I get it at 50% off sale. I will take that. Thank you very much. Give me my Reaper chest piece immediately. I'm about to hit level 100 anyway, so you know what? Thank you for this gift, Chloe. Very kind of you. I will happily do this a bit early just to get a 50% off discount, okay? How could I say no to that? 2 months and 16 days passed in the blink of an eye. 1 day away from my fated battle with Hades, it was time for my very last steps. As close to level 100 as we could be, and the first set of grade 4 strength tinctures crafted. Waking up on the next day, we complete the last of our pixie dailies and reach level 100. It was time to put the first of 4 options to the test. I felt the reassurance in this moment of knowing, even if I failed, there were 3 more paths. But first, we had to learn the fight all over again. Warrior is strong. Its self-healing is unmatched. For that job, the first phase isn't even a footnote until the fervor of the ancients. But to Reaper, this first phase wasn't a fight. It was survival, and desperate at that. there are only 3 methods we can use to heal. Crest of Time Borrowed is a shield that lasts 5 seconds. If in those 5 seconds Hades does enough damage to break it, we'll get a buff, Crest of Time Returned, that heals us over time for 15 seconds. Bloodbath heals us for a small percent of the damage we deal for the next 20 seconds, but it has a 90-second cooldown to use again. And Second Wind is a burst of 15,000 health we can use every 2 minutes. Even just staying close to Hades puts us in danger. His auto attacks hit for 9,000 damage, an unsustainable number over this long a fight. If I wanted a chance for Reaper to clear, we needed to survive for 3 minutes and gain the Echo buff. With a 50% buff, I should have enough health to handle this fight and the damage we need for Phase 2. Hitting Hades no longer mattered. The only thing we could do to live was run, but even while sprinting, Hades stays close enough to auto-attack us. Our last saving grace is Hell's Ingress, an ability that lets Reaper dash a fixed distance across the arena, with its follow-up, Regress, letting us jump back to our point of origin. After Broken Faith, Hades does 2 tank busters within 30 seconds of one another. If I could somehow get the health to survive those, we'd be safe until the next Broken Faith cast, which will be just enough time for the Echo buff. Moment for moment, every crest, every dash, this fight demanded absolute perfection for a chance to just barely live.
As long as I can live, as long as I can live. I could die to this one, that's fine. I'll take it. Please, please, please. Please. Yes! 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 Okay. That's step 1.
Reaper had passed the bare minimum requirement. We could start to progress the fight. But even with a 10% buff, it was still a desperate struggle to survive, and we were running out of time. With only 22 minutes left before the instance kicks us out, we step away to make food and prepare for the marathon. I needed all the time I could manage, so now that I'd proved we could do it, the first attempt of the instance had to get us the 10% Echo buff. Restocking on super potions and pizzas, we enter once more, primed to push things even further.
Done. Okay. I'm gonna take a risk here and just say this is death. Please be Echo. Yes! Okay, that's perfect. Right after that last tank buster then. 20%. Perfect.
From here, the fight gets easier and easier until, with 41 minutes remaining, we reach 50% Echo. Now all that's left is to kill the boss that awaits us behind the final problem, Fervor of the Ancients. For Warrior, with all its extra defense and mitigation, the party stacks were a monstrous attack to survive, dealing upwards of 50,000 damage. Without all those mitigations, the true damage of these party stacks was double that. 100,000.
Oh my god.
Even healing as much as we could, we're obliterated by the first party stack every time, until I realized what was wrong. I had been bursting through Hades now, just sitting and dealing as much damage as I could to reach Fervor. I stopped caring about my health. I was starting the ad phase with 1/3 of my health remaining and desperately trying to heal back up. A few attempts later, we've got it. We had a chance to live this, but if I wanted to do it, I needed Hades to start Fervor of the Ancients while I had a minimum of 125,000 health. Basically, full. We step away one more time to put a full set of materia in our new chest piece, and that's the end of it. There's nothing else I can change. Everything from here was performance. A plan in my heart. This was it. The final test. We enter the dying gasp one more time.
Never had a choice, never let the ops win. Calm them nerves, got the whole world watching. Ready, set, go, and there ain't no stopping. Only one option, light it up. Heart is pounding out my chest, the blood boils inside of me. Looking at the walls around me, closing in, I think, what's it gonna be? Never had a choice, never let the ops win. Calm them nerves, got the whole world watching. Ready, set, go, and there ain't no stopping. Got one option, light it up. Everything burns! Light it up, let's go! skin, I got tingling in my hands. Moving like a lightning strike, I'm on tonight, so just catch me if you can. Never had a choice, never let the ops win. Calm them nerves, got the whole world watching. Ready, set, go, and there ain't no stopping. Got one option, light it up. Everything burns. Light it up, let's go, light it up, let's go. Everything burns. Light it up, let's go, light it up, let's go. I'm on fire, burning brighter than anyone alive. I'm way too hot to touch, so just remember if you try. Everything burns.
This is it. This is it. This has to be it.
Whole house packed, not here to make friends. Do or die moment, I love it this tense. Who am I taking out thinking you're next?
Yes! And now the hard part.
Everything burns. Light it up, let's go, light it up, let's go. Everything burns. Light it up, let's go, light it up, let's go. I'm on fire, burning brighter than anyone alive. I'm way too hot to touch, so just remember if you try. Everything
35% down, 35% to go. There is no way. If I want to skip the jail, Hades needs to hit 30% health. I would need double my current damage. 80% echo, high level 740 chest piece, and full 515 high quality gear. The wall standing before us was nothing like any before it. We had given it our all, and while I bluffed that there were other options, this was truly the only one, and proved that nothing else would work. Sure, Samurai could do more damage, but Samurai wasn't twice as strong. I had only made it halfway. After 1,000 hours of solo, we've reached the wall we can't clear. And so that's it. I give up. I gave it all I could, but this is the end. You didn't really think I'd say that, did you? If I'm using this footage, something has gone terribly wrong. Just in case, on the tiny chance that there's something that stops us, this is my answer. From here, I have to do the entire journey over again. Maybe I never use this. Or maybe he really will be Solo's savior. We've got a 500-hour journey ahead of us, little buddy. Nothing we can do but start. There is my level 60 Gunbreaker, and now I can level sync Ifrit. The Bowl of Embers is cleared. Gunbreaker will get us through the rest of A Realm Reborn without any stops along the way. Once again, A Realm Reborn is finished. Okay. Goodbye, Bismarck. I am so very glad that I don't have to see you more than this. Bismarck is cleared. For now, the most important thing. Hello, Chloe. Wondrous Tales is unlocked, and now we begin the slow climb towards level 100. Thank you, Chloe, for taking such good care of me. Level 100. Titania is done. The last wall is cleared. Hades is next.
From this moment, all that matters is reaching 30%. Hades' final enrage has one single attack. There is no threat past there. Handling both a samurai and Pictomancer's burst simultaneously, both classes that theoretically can do more than half the phase 2 health, should be enough to reach our goal. I have nothing else. No more tricks. No more fake outs. This is it. I have bared my all. If I can't do it now, so be it. But if this is going to be my end, then I would make such an end as to be worthy of remembrance. Please, hit it! Okay, that's it, kill the boss, please! With a final playtime of 1,008 hours on Solo and 193 hours on Savior, we've made it. This is my end. Really and truly. I've been searching for a proper end to Solo only for a very long time. Nothing ever felt right, but this feels perfect. I keep my promises. Solo will complete Endwalker. Our final goal is still 6.0, but in this moment, I am basking in my victory. For me, this is the ending I had been seeking. I have finally found it. Yet as always, to borrow the words of the Crystal Exarch once more, our road goes ever on, as does our story, as does our legacy. I hope you will join me on that road one more time into the final season of Solo Only.